What's going on, friends? It's Anton Daniels, and I gotta have a conversation with you guys about Tiege Hanley because you see how the sun is hitting me. This is no finesse, no makeup, no filters, no none of that. This is 100% Tiege Hanley. I use it in the morning as soon as I get up, right after I pray and brush my teeth, jump in the shower, and I'm hitting the streets because you never get a second chance to make a first impression. So even though they're giving you 40% off your first order, 20% off for life, even though you may get a free gift, forget all that, right? Because we would do this even if it was full price because it's worth that much. I'm in the streets, I'm kicking it with people and I see Dusties everywhere. You don't want to be them. You want to separate yourself. And the way that you separate yourself is self-care. Ladies get it for the fellas. Fellas don't wait for the ladies to get it for you. I'm about to hit the streets right now and I'm feeling confident. I'm feeling great. I mean, I already got confidence, but to have that extra boost of confidence, knowing that you've taken care of yourself and you set yourself apart from all of the rest of the sheep that's walking around making bad decisions on a daily basis. And it's reflected in their actions. It's reflected in the products that they use. It's reflected in the people that they follow. And so if you're trying to level up, if you're trying to make sure that you look good, they're going to send you the pack. They're going to give you all of the instructions on how you're supposed to use it. Then make sure you get your Tiege Hanley. Again, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. Get your free gift. Make sure you tap in with your boy Anton Daniels because Unc is never going to lead you wrong. I would never have you use a product that I don't use myself. Again, they've been rocking with me for a long time. Make sure you get your Tiege Hanley. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to holler at you guys later. What's going on? Is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. Thank you for tuning in for another edition of the Millionaire Morning Show. I am your host, Anton Daniels. What up, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up? What's going on, friends and family? How y'all feel today? It is Wednesday, June 4th, 2025, year of our Lord, and I'm expecting a phenomenal show. I'm going to switch things up slightly. We did a little bit of a test on this, I think, last Friday or something like that, where we kind of let the people determine the different subjects that we want to talk about. I got some subjects that I want to tackle, specifically layoffs, funding, budget problems in Chicago, the federal government, different things. They starting to drill back in Alaska, federal layoffs over in Maryland. Trump steel imports is they started tariffs on that. Um, it's a lot of different stuff. A lot of stuff. Brinks truck robberies. Lots of stuff. Oh, AI. We got to get back into AI. It's a very, very, very important conversation that I want to have with AI. All right. But how y'all feel today? How do you guys feel today? Love your show. Is the best part is I can disagree with some points, but still want to hear what you say. I think that that's great. I'm trying to create an environment where people feel comfortable expressing themselves and expressing their likes, their dislikes, their agreements, their disagreements without feeling like they're going to be targeted for getting timed out or censored. I think that we should all be reasonable and understanding that we're adults here. Is no point in attacking people's family members or attacking people's children. And then we can agree or disagree. Now, understand this also, that you may get somebody that disagree with you. Me, I might bring you to the front of the congregation and make you a Malik. That's fair. Because if you say stuff that you disagree with me, I should be able to say stuff that I disagree with you also, right? Can you talk about the father who was wanted for killing his 3 daughters? I don't know nothing about that. Email it to me right now. I'll pull it up and I'll see what I can find out about it. I'm going to let y'all kind of determine how the show go. It's some stuff that we have to talk about, but then it's some stuff that I want to talk about. Before I get to reading cash apps and stuff like that, I do want to say that I believe that Southfield, Michigan, some of you may not be familiar with Michigan or the Metro Detroit area. Southfield is a suburb that is right outside of Detroit. I think that I was doing some prospecting yesterday and I got out for a couple hours because I was going to look at some properties and some things that I was buying and stuff like that. I think that Southfield, Michigan is going to be the new Hollywood. I think that that's going to be the new not Hollywood. I think that that's the wrong word. And I hate to say black or anything like that, but I think that that's gonna be the new popping spot for black people that got money. Honestly, Klarna, I can talk about whatever it is that y'all want to talk about. I think I'm a basically dedicate the majority of my resources as far as building houses, investing in. I think I'm gonna wind up building a big house in Southfield, Michigan. I do. I'll talk about that in a little bit. I don't think that that's necessary for me to talk about. I don't want to give too much information. How y'all feel today? Little girl, listen, if all right, so here's the thing. 11 Mile and Evergreen? Yeah. Yeah. Yo, AD, you were totally right about Vivek, and I said the same thing. I believe Vivek is one of the most misunderstood, underestimated people in politics. Vivek has to do a branding thing, though. He got to do a different branding type of thing. I don't think he gets as much visibility because he's too smart. He's too much of a nerd. Others, not Trump, added pork to his bill. Agreed. Agreed. I think that Southfield is gonna be it's gonna be the new spot. It's gonna be the new hot spot for people that got money. Um, and I think that it's underrated right now. I think that Southfield is super underrated. It's gonna be the new hot spot. All right, y'all. Did y'all enjoy the show last night? Yeah, I do know about the Chinese spies. I'll talk about that one. I'll throw that on the list. John Teal says, "Why do you say that about Southfield?" All right, so let me give you a description of what I think about Southfield. When I was growing up in inner city Detroit, born in the 80s, raised in the 90s, Southfield was the spot. Like Southfield was it was everything. It was like if you was able to get out to Southfield, if you was able to move over to Southfield, then you got money. You know what I'm saying? Like we thought that Southfield was that spot, like, and it was. Like I had an uncle that moved out there. At the time back in the day when I first enrolled in college, in community college, when Oakland County, Southfield is Oakland County, Detroit is Wayne County, but they border on each other's suburbs. I changed my address to his address in order to go to school for a cheaper rate. Because you got to be basically in district to get the cheaper rate or whatever. So I moved over there and then I changed my address. But when you got money, the first place that you moved to was Southfield. When you was solidly middle class, when you start getting money, and you can afford to live in Southfield, yeah, that's what it was. And then over the years, it kind of got oversaturated in a way, and I think that there was a kind of a transformation of people not valuing it as much because usually when you have a lot of people that have resources but they don't necessarily change their culture, people don't appreciate it as much, right? And so you've seen a kind of like an exodus out of the city over the 90s, and they start moving into the suburbs. But in a way, the bigger suburbs like the Birminghams, the West Bloomfields, you got to have a whole lot of money or you're going to be priced out because the cost of being able to do business over there is a lot more, right? And I got property in all of these different places. But Southfield, when you look at it geographically, right? And I don't think that people pay attention to city planning. And that's the thing that we have to start elevating our mind to. We got to start elevating our mind when we making our investments on city planning, leadership, location, proximity, what is happening in the city of Detroit and downtown and how it's starting to explode. But at the same time, where are people looking to move in order to really be able to take advantage of land and all of that stuff? Southfield, in my opinion, is the best city when it comes to location, proximity, and all of these things. And at the same time, I think it's underappreciated because when everybody started getting money or people started moving out, they started spreading out a little bit more, but then they didn't really value Southfield as much because, it's kind of like an elitist mentality. But I think that Southfield is really a gem. It's the biggest gem. It's the biggest gem. I think that Southfield is PJ says, "Are you invested in the Southfield? And if not, will you ever be?" Wait. Hold on, let me reread this. Let me just pull it up on the screen. Are you invested in Southfield? And if not, will you ever be that you are seeing what a growth is? I am invested in Southfield. I own a lot of property in Southfield. I'm not going to tell y'all how much. I have some homes that I'm building in Southfield right now. I'm not going to tell you, all of that stuff. But I am very much invested in Southfield. I think that what I'm going to wind up doing is building the biggest house in Southfield, to be honest with you. Yep. I think I'm going to wind up building the biggest house in Southfield. But that is to be seen. We'll see what happens. I guess the biggest thing that I'm trying to communicate to you guys is you guys can't keep chasing and running behind other people. If you want to have change, if you want to build a community, if you want to grow, you got to build it yourself. You got to invest in it yourself. Stop feeling like you got to run out and go and do what everybody else do. Everybody kept telling me, once they realized that I had resources and money, Anton, you got to move to Birmingham. Anton, you got to move to Birmingham. That's where all of the athletes are. That's where all of the entertainers are and all of that stuff. I said, no, I don't. I'm going to move further into Detroit. I don't feel like I have to meet the expectation. I feel like the expectation has to be raised for me. And then I set the trend and we set the standard. If you want change, you're going to have to do it yourself. If you want culture, you're going to have to create it yourself. If you want to promote something and make it bigger, then you're going to have to do it yourself. You can do it yourself. Y'all don't have to keep on running up behind people in order to create an environment that's ideal for you. That's all I'm saying. It's not about Southfield. It's not about any of that. It's more or less about um opportunity, right? It's more or less about how you want things to change. When I said that black culture is trash, I decided that I wanted to create my own network, my own group, and I created the Bag Chasers. And so now we 17,000 plus strong, and we do what we want to do. XQ says, I couldn't live on $65,000 a year. Sorry. I mean, listen, God bless you. Good job. What do you want, a cookie for that? you want a cookie? But saying, XQ, how much do you make a year? I like to interact with the chat before we get into the show. XQ, how much do you make a year? Because he said that he couldn't live on $65,000 a year. He said no, he couldn't. That's poverty. Would he live? Okay, cool. Well, how much do you live on a year? And where do you live? For those of you that's new here, the chat is my co-host of the show, and I like to interact with the chat. So, it's interesting. Where do you live? Since that's poverty, where you live at? Don't think about it. Don't inflate the number. Just answer the same way that you was typing hard in the chat. Just give me your insight. $98,000 a year, and my wife makes $90,000 a year. Okay. All right, cool. Well, you know what's so interesting? So you're saying that basically you and your wife combined, y'all make $188,000 a year, correct? With you and your wife combined, y'all make $188,000 a year, correct? Just make sure, because I know I'm a C student, I'm slow, so my math is a little different. Is that correct? I just want them to confirm before I give some insight. Okay, he's saying that that's correct. Cool. Wolves Dragon says he capping hard. I don't think he's capping hard. I think that he's probably telling the truth. Where do you live at, XQ? Where do you live at? What city do you stay in? Why you don't got no profile picture? Where do you live at, XQ? What up, though, Jermaine, new bag chaser? Before we deep into the West Coast, you don't have to tell your city. West Coast, not telling my city, fellas get a master's degree. Okay, cool. All right, so you make $188,000 a year. All right, first and foremost, I'm moving to Southfield. Probably, I'm going to build up and move into Southfield. And I think you poor to me. In my opinion, you know what I'm saying? You probably live in check to check. If you can't manage 65, you can't manage, you make 98. You're not that far off from poverty, honestly. If you make 98, but you depending on your wife to make 90, you by yourself on the West Coast, you can't afford to even live without your wife. So if I'm a millionaire and I make millions every single year, but I decide that I want to live amongst people that make 65 because I'm not better than them, and more importantly, I don't feel the need to have to qualify myself by saying that I live in a community where they're charging you more to live just so I can say that I belong, I think that I actually look at things a little bit better than you look at it. I think you poor to me. I spend in a month what you make, you and your wife combined making a year. I spend in a month. It's a fact. I spend in a month what you and your wife make in a year. So, you know, when you try to stunt on people, and I'm not saying this because I'm the biggest fish in the pond, I'm saying this because it's always a bigger fish that actually manages his resources and think differently about life than you do about whatever it is that you think makes sense. I could absolutely live off of 65. I would just have to make some adjustments to some changes. I could absolutely live in 65. Honest to God. That's play money to me. Honestly. That's play money to me. I don't look at that and be like, oh man, I could never live off that. I absolutely could live off that. 100%. If I went back to May, I'm going to go to May 2025. That's my May. It's my May. That's May to me. All right. That's May. Okay. So what am I saying this? What am I saying to you? What I'm saying is the quality of life is much better than whatever. I guarantee you there's somebody that's making $100,000 a year combined household income that probably lives a better quality of life than you. That probably lives a better quality of life than you. It's not about stunting, bro. It's not all the way about stunting. I spent that last month. I spent 212 last month. It's not always about stunting. So, anyways, I believe, getting back to my point, um, I believe is necessary for us to build people in general, cultures that want change. And it don't even have to be a black or white thing or anything like that. I believe it's necessary for people to change and to build the communities that they want. Somebody asked me yesterday, oh, it was Pearl. I was on Pearl's live stream yesterday and she said, Anton. She said, Anton, Where would you live? I don't know if y'all actually seen that. Was that on the live stream or was it not? Because it might have been the one that we did before behind the paywall. She said, "Where would you live?" I don't know if we was online live streaming when she asked this or not. She said, "Anton, where would you live if you can live anywhere?" And I said, I thought about it for a minute, and I was really trying to find somewhere in my mind. And I said, man, I would probably just stay in Detroit. I don't want to live nowhere else. Yeah, I'm scratching my throat. Sorry about that, Carmen. I don't want to live nowhere else. I don't want to. I love my city. I love this city. I love Detroit. I love Metro Detroit. I love Michigan. I like being able to experience all seasons. I like Mackinac Island. I like traveling up Upper Michigan, up north. I like going to Traverse City. I like all of the different. I just love Michigan. I don't want to move, and I don't feel like I have to go and move and go to Miami and move there. I don't feel like I have to go over to New York or Los Angeles, and it doesn't mean that I wouldn't stay there for a few months and be experience the culture somewhere. I don't want to move. I don't want to go nowhere else. I like smaller cities. She said, but you have to move, Anton. You have to. And if you had to move and somebody put a gun to your head, where else would you go? I said, man, probably Cleveland. Maybe Cleveland, Indianapolis, Pittsburgh, Biloxi, Mississippi. I don't want to permanently move to a New York, or I don't want to go to Atlanta. I don't want to go and live permanently in Los Angeles. I don't want to go to Houston. I don't want to go where everybody else want to go. I want to be where I want to be, where my communities are decent enough as far as size to be able to do the things that you want to do, where it's affordable for everybody so that people not trying to figure it out and suffer and trying to keep up with the Joneses, and everybody just value each other, and you can get to know your neighbor while at the same time enjoying the downtown experience. I'm not the super biggest city person in the world. I'm cool. I'm cool. I like Detroit. I like Southfield, and I like where I'm at. I don't need no super huge city. I don't need that. I'm good. All right, y'all ready to go ahead and get into the show? Plus, there's more. I knew you was racist. I knew you was racist. Plus, there's more. Oh, wait a minute. Plus, there's more black people. I'm tired of them folks. What folks are you tired of? To QC. To be honest, we thinking about moving out of here. Our jobs are very transferable, and we could be doing an amazing job in a place like Southfield. Oh, so you tired of white people? You racist? You racist, QC? That's why you ain't got no profile picture? No, 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 no. You was just saying that you couldn't live around people that make $65,000 a year. And no, don't no. Stay where you at. Stay out there with them folks that's overcharging you for avocado and oranges. Stay out there with them folks that tax you to death. Let you and your wife pay an egregious amount of taxes and still be trying to figure it out. Don't come over here talking about, oh no, we can actually thrive in a place like South. No, 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 no. You said you was too good for it at first. Remember? You know, our job skills is transferable. Now you starting to get the wheels turning. Better quality of life, cheaper the way to live. And plus, I'm tired of them folks. No, 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 no. This is not an invitation for you to be racist somewhere else and look for a community where you can talk about people negatively just because they don't necessarily look like you. That's not what we doing. That's not what we doing. No, big dog. We don't do racist tropes and narratives and all of that stuff. I don't believe in that. You and your wife, y'all stay on out there with them folks. That's where you move. That's where you wanted to thrive at. So go ahead and eat that. Eat that, big dog. Eat that. Eat that. Anyways, make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. We're not doing that. Y'all said it was, what was the story y'all wanted me to start out with before we get to the Elon Musk thing? It says, why are we assuming XQ is a guy? You know how they roll on the West Coast. Y'all being mean to XQ. XQ just hanging out. Don't worry about it. We love you, XQ, no matter what. All right, let's see. Shout out to my dog, Mike, that dude. I appreciate you. Thank you for contributing to the platform, Mr. DJ. Thank you, Mr. DJ, for holding me down. My dog, Spencer Campbell. What up, though? Make sure y'all join the Bag Chasers. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. All right, 3 little girls died. 3 little girls died. Where? All right, let me find out where this is at. Give me a second. 3 little girls died. What's the story? Wednesdays, I'm going to try something a little bit different. 3 girls missing, found dead. All right, let me see if I can find this. Is this in Washington State? Father wanted for murder. All right, let me pull this up. Give me a sec. 3 little girls died. I found it. Let's talk about it. Let's spend 10 minutes on it. See what's happening out in these streets, man. Is this the story that you was talking about?
And welcome back here to Live Now from Fox. I'm Andrew Kraft. We take you now about 3 hours east of the Seattle area. Take a look at that live picture there over the Seattle skyline. A gorgeous view there. But this story next is very tragic here. I want to put up some of this photos and video that we have. This is what we know. 3 young girls were reported missing last week. They were found dead yesterday. That's according to the Wenatchee Police Department in Washington State. Authorities now searching for their father, 32-year-old Travis Decker. He's wanted for 3 counts of first-degree murder and first-degree kidnapping. This is somewhat of a theme here on Live Now over the past couple of weeks. Manhunts in states like Louisiana, Arkansas, and now Washington State for this father. Our colleagues at Fox 13 Seattle, including reporter AJ Janavel, they're on this story, and AJ joins me live. AJ, thanks so much for being with us here on a really, really difficult story to tell. Get our viewers up to speed if they're just coming to this story for the first time.
Andrew, it's just a tragic situation, and you kind of hit all of these specifics that we have been finding out over the last few days. So the way it started was this incident happened around Friday. This father had a scheduled visit with these 3 girls, all under the age of 10, all his daughters. But when he did not show back up to drop these young girls off, that's when this search began. Throughout the weekend, as well as throughout all of Monday, we were hoping and waiting for the best case scenario, looking for answers. A massive search, including different agencies in this area, looking for those 3 girls. Their names, Peyton, Evelyn, and Olivia, all under 10 years old, all sisters. We found out this morning that investigators found the bodies of all 3 of these sisters a short while away from this Wenatchee area where we are, in a town called Leavenworth, Washington. But what investigators have not found is that suspect, the father, Decker. He's 32 years old. He has an interesting history. Investigators say he's former military. They believe that he has a special set of skills because of his background in the military.
Who's this dude? Liam Neeson? Special set of skills?
That he makes him even more dangerous than a normal person. They also believe that he could have a gun. So they're warning the community because the biggest thing right now is finding this suspect. But the concern is how dangerous he is because, as you mentioned, investigators believe that he killed all 3 of his children. So what they're asking is anyone who has any information or even sees Decker in the community to immediately call 911, to not approach him in any way, shape, or form. Now, we are in Wenatchee. This is where those little girls lived. All 3 of them went to an elementary school down the street. And behind me, in less than an hour, there is a vigil that is planned with members of that school, with members of the community. We've been hearing from people, from parents who got a chance to know these little girls through things like sports, through things like the classroom. And if, Andrew, there's any glimmer of hope within this absolutely terrible story, is this: the community support. In just a few hours, really today, a GoFundMe has raised about $200,000 for Whitney Decker. That is the...
It don't even matter, bro. Like, I mean, mentioning the GoFundMe is cool, but when you get to the point to where, look, bro, if you get all three of your children killed by their father, I don't even think you care nothing about no money. Honestly, at that point, I think that I don't even know how you would be able to go on with life. If all three of your daughters get killed by their father, I think the last thing that you're thinking about is money. I don't even think you care about living. I don't think you care about your house. I don't think you care about family. You probably just go numb. You probably just go numb. At that point, I don't even see the purpose in life. I don't even see the purpose in life. And I'm not saying that people need to take their lives. I'm against that. I don't know what the meaning of life is at that point. That's beyond relationship advice and saying, oh, you chose them or something like that. That's demonic. That's something else. That's a spirit. You got to be one of the most evil people in the world, not only to take a child's life, but to take your child's life. All three of them. People keep hitting us with the, oh man, people crazy, PTSD, maybe it was war or maybe it was something like that. Nah, fam. At what point do we say that people are possessed? At what point do you say that people are possessed? Honestly, that is beyond anything. Like, that's beyond any psychosis, medical diagnosis, procedure. That is honestly, that dude is possessed, and there's no reason for him to continue to still exist on this earth. I just believe that. And I know that there's a lot of people that don't believe in the spirituality. They just think that, okay, we here today and we gone tomorrow, and then you just go into some random existence, your consciousness turn off, and then you just no longer here or whatever like that. I don't believe that. I believe that there are absolutely, positively other things walking around that we don't see. I believe there's angels, cherubims, demons, devils, all of that stuff. I believe in all of it. And I know that I don't too much get into the deep dive into the spiritual of all of, the heavy lifting stuff of what we talk about, but ain't no other way that you can explain this. Is no explanation. Oh, I got into it with the baby mama. No, it ain't no explanation that you can tell me that would justify. And I don't want to see one guy. I know y'all was on me last night on the after hour show. I can't believe Anton is caping for black women. He poured his cape out. He do it at least once a month. He do it once every couple months. He always trying to talk about, good black women. This ain't got nothing to do with nothing. This is all, it ain't a guy. It should not be a guy in the chat. Not one man in the chat that will sit here and say, but she chose him. No. We can use that when it comes to becoming a single baby mama or breaking up your household, or, you decided that you wanted to have unprotected sex or something like that. That's applicable for that. When you talking about a dude that had 3 children with you, who had them on visitation, and then all of a sudden they just all missing and they just dead, that it's probably so gruesome that they didn't even feel comfortable telling you how they passed away. Probably so gruesome that they probably can't even tell you how they passed away.
Mother of these 3 little girls. So you're seeing just how much of an impact this family has had on the community with how much money has been raised in such a short amount of time. Andrew?
AJ, I have to ask about the mother in particular. Can't imagine what she's going through, the worst moments of her life. Have we heard from her at all? Have we heard from any other members of the family?
I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. She still chose him, though. Come on, fam. At some point, we got to have some level of empathy. Like, come on, family. Really? You don't even know the details of what's going on. Bro, there's no excuse in the world for a man to murder his children. What are we doing? I don't know if you trolling. I don't know, Moses, if you decided that you just wanted to be brought to the front of the congregation and you felt like you wanted some attention. Come on, family. Seriously? Seriously? How do you vet for a person that's going to kill your kids? Just a question. You can vet for a woman that's going to sleep around. You can vet for a woman that's going to be extra promiscuous. You might even be able to vet for a gold digger. How do you vet for a woman that is going, or how do you vet for a man that's going to kill your kids? Just curious. Has anybody got a solution for that? Because I don't have any excuses for that one. I don't have no solution for that one. Anton, I want to make sure that I vet for a guy that's not going to kill my kids. I'm not even sure that that's a question. Come on, family.
We actually got a chance to speak to Whitney Decker, the mom, on Monday, and it's heartbreaking because she remained hopeful that her 3 girls would be returned safely. This is a situation, Kimmy. Again, this visit was scheduled. This was something that was planned with the father.
Kimmy, don't be super feminist. Don't be super feminist. Most of us are objective. Most of us hold you accountable because we want you to do better. And we call out the BS, but at the same time, we champion y'all at the same time. Don't do it. Don't do it. This is not how most men think and act. It's not. It's not. I'm not going to let you put that stereotype on us. Nope. Most of us love y'all. Most of us want to be with y'all. We just unwilling to deal with the nonsense that come along with the stuff that you think you're entitled to.
Travis Decker, and the hope was that there was some sort of mistake or some sort of incident that had happened to delay the returning of these 3 girls in the normal process of this scheduled visitation. Since we have found out this absolutely devastating information, all 3 of these girls believed to be killed by investigators, I've heard from family friends that Whitney Decker, the mom, is not in a position to comment. Okay. I have gotten a chance to speak to a close family friend, the person behind that GoFundMe, and what is she's saying essentially is the best way that the community can show their support is twofold. One is that GoFundMe, which I've mentioned before, has raised at this point nearly $200,000. But
Large Paul. Really? Really? So everybody has his limits. The guy obviously met his. What does that mean? So that means that we're now validating the idea that because you met your limit and because you couldn't control yourself, you decided to go and take your kids out? What kind of crack y'all got out there today? Y'all got some good meth? Whatever that meth is out there that y'all got, I don't want none of it. I don't want. Y'all got that Fenty in y'all meth. Large Paul, what we doing today? Everyone has his limits. The guy obviously got his. Are y'all smoking crack? Let me make my list. Let's see. Moses King. Large Paul. That way, if I meet y'all in real life, hey, man, what's going on, big dog? How you feel? Hey, Anton, I follow you online. I'm Large Paul. Security going to be behind you. What's going on, Anton? I'm Large Paul. What's up, fam? I'm just making a list. Mental Rolodex so that I know when I meet y'all in person, I know who to be careful about. Hey, don't play with Large Paul too much. He don't play like that. He got a short fuse, lower limit.
The other thing is that suspect is still out there. Wow. They want to make sure that if you know anything...
What's your name? Hey, Anton, my name is Kimmy. Kimmy, like in my chat, Kimmy. Yeah. Hey, dog. She can't go. She backstage. I choose you to tour. Not that one. Not that one. Kimmy. Probably gonna be doing some Me Tooing over there. Yeah, watch that one. Make sure you got her on camera. No physical contact. We don't want to get Me Too'd. Kimmy over there. Well, hey, Anton, can I take a picture? I'm taking pictures with my hands behind my back. Just throwing on my mental Rolodex. Want to make sure that we all on the same page. Oh, you can put your hand behind my waist. No, I'm okay. You know, I'm feeling real selfish today. You know what I'm saying? No, I choose you to tour for her. The Kimmy, the type that be on the internet, on TikTok. So, story time. I met this man today, and you may not know who it is. I signed paperwork, so I can't necessarily say his name. But his name, the beginning of it rhymes with Banton, and the end of it rhymes with manuals. And this guy right here tried to take my face off with the D. And girl, guess what? He married. And I don't even know if his wife know. But guess what? I got a story time today. Let me tell you about this guy that had me in Vegas. And oh my God, I did volunteer to go up there, but I didn't know what I was getting into. I ain't got time for that. Hey, Kimmy, I choose you to tour. General admission, no backstage, okay?
You stay safe, but you also
fellas, word of advice. Never, ever talk to women. Go, if you get into it with a woman, as far as like getting into a relationship, or you like her, y'all going back and forth, you kicking it with her and stuff like that. First thing you do is you go and you check her social media. What up to my dog, Dennis Sperlin in the building? What up, DS? DS in the building says, I'm very proud of you and your great work, Uncle D. Shout out to the Blizzard King. I love Uncle D. Unc is in the building. Shout out to Dennis Sperlin. I love you, bro. I'm going to read that super chat and I'm going to give you a proper acknowledgement shortly. I just got to make sure that they know about the Kimmys. Make sure that y'all go and check these women's social media platforms, fam. You're married, you're unmarried, you're single, you in a situationship, it's complicated. Go check their social media. That's the first line of defense. What are you looking for? Women that tell story times or is always talking about their experience and always talking about some man that they talked about or they went to, or let me tell you this, or girl, women that take pictures of their food and then it be some man's hand in it. Stay away from those type of women. That's the number one red flag. Make sure that y'all are very careful not to be aligning yourself and getting into a situation where you're going to end up being some kind of story time later.
Like police. Andrew?
Yeah, and AJ, at the top of the next hour, to your point, this vigil will be underway. We're going to take that live here on Live Now. Another key item of this story that a lot of people are fixating on is the fact that the Washington State Patrol was contacted on Friday night to request an Amber Alert, though it did not meet the requisite criteria to issue such an alert. Are there questions about why?
Andrew, we've been digging into those questions for the last 2 days as you've kind of brought that up. Essentially, an Amber Alert's goal is to make the community aware as quickly as possible that there is a need for assistance. And when you find out that...
Kimmy, you know I'm just messing around with you. Everybody get these jokes.
For some reason, the specific details of this case did not rise to the level of an Amber Alert. with the hindsight that we have now, it's concerning and brings up a lot of questions. We've been working to get answers. One of the biggest focus right now, though, has been the fact that Kimmy, suspect is still on the loose. So we are working to figure out exactly what happened in the situation. What, if anything, can be done to change in the future to prevent other situations like that. But the question you're asking is one that a lot of members of this community are asking as well.
Yeah, and we don't have time now, but failed to mention that this unoccupied white pickup truck was also recovered from the scene near where these three girls' bodies were also discovered as well. He still remains on the loose, on the run. AJ Janavel with Fox 13 in Seattle. Thanks for bringing us this incredibly difficult story. We'll check in.
Yeah, that's demonic, man. I don't support it, and it's unfortunate. I pray for the family of people like this that's going through stuff like this. It's sad. It's a sad thing. Tiffany says, or people acting like they single when you find out they're taking a whole time. I don't like my feelings being played with. That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. I don't know what taken mean. I don't know what the taken part means. Somebody did a I did a review on somebody yesterday, and they said that life is fluid. Life is fluid. Taking a day, not taking tomorrow, who knows? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I'm toxic, though. I'm very toxic. I'm a toxic type of person. So if you want a good time, then come holler at me on the Hot Juju Tour. If you're looking for a good time, not a long time, but a good time, life is fluid. Life is fluid. You know what I'm saying? It's interesting. All right, let me read some of these super chats so I can acknowledge y'all, and then we can figure out what we want to talk about next. Let's go into the bill next. Let's go into the bill. We're going to go my choosing, your choosing, my choosing, your choosing. All right, so y'all tell me what it is that y'all want me to address, and then I'm going to pick something that I want to talk about. Champion Chuck says married people are the new singles. It's not true, Champion Chuck. Married people are married people. I just think that the terms of what y'all think a married person is supposed to look like might be a little bit different. I don't know. I might have to do a Wednesday night live stream so that we can solve for this issue. I believe that we need to solve for the relationship issues. I might do an impromptu relationship solving for live stream at some point on some platform. I don't know. If that's what y'all want, y'all let me know. I don't know what I'm going to do. We're going to see what's happening. I was thinking about taking a whole flight today. I was thinking about going to Vegas and then throwing some money on black. And then I said, you know what? I don't feel like going nowhere today. I should, Jerry. Well, what would that look like? What would that type of live stream look like for y'all? What do y'all want to do? Messi said, dudes be married, talk about, but it ain't serious. Oh my God. That's not true. That's not true. That's not true. I don't know what that would look like. OG Aunt Rihanna, you've been trying to tell me something lately. What's going on, OG Rihanna? You know, I'm already skeptical of you because you taking pictures from the back. You want us to see that little fatty. So I know what I'm looking at. I know what I'm looking at. Okay, OG, come talk to me. Send me a DM. You following me on Instagram? We need content for the Darth Anton channel. Okay, well, I'll drop a vlog today. I got a lot of stuff that's in the vault. Stuff that's edited that I didn't even drop yet. Some very interesting content. Ivy League says, morning, AD and the Chasers. Y'all had tears in my eyes laughing from last night. I love After Hours. Elon telling the truth about the big blow to build. Okay, well, we're going to talk about that uncut underground. And you may not like my commentary with regard to that. Shout out from work, Eastside Jefferson and Phillips. Shout out to my people out here in Detroit getting to it. I appreciate y'all. Nichelle says, Nichelle. Make sure you get the Nichelle, all right? If someone was starting from scratch, how would you recommend they start in long-form content, bag chasers, up? If you were starting from scratch from long-form content, I would suggest that you guys vlog your life. Vlog your life while also talking about popular culture content, right? You got to mix in between two because you got to give people a reason to want to come to your channel. And so they may come to your channel or come to your video as a result of something popular culture that you say, but then at the same time, you want to include parts of your life talking about it, right? So that's what I would do from a long form content perspective if I'm just now starting out. I have to give people a reason to tune in. I have to give people a reason to introduce myself to me. I have to start branding myself and I have to be consistent with it. So if you are starting off with long form content, don't start off by live streaming and talking about something. Give people a reason to want to hear your opinion about whatever it is that's going on in popular culture by bringing them into your world. They want to know what's going on with you. They want to know why you're going through stuff. They want to know what you got going, what's your problems, whatever. Most people that get introduced to the world get introduced to a problem or issue or something that they got going on, and they got to vent to the general public. The problem with a lot of those people is they're not able to sustain it because they don't know what to do after they get that initial visibility. All right? Bring people into your world. Forget just live streaming. Live streaming alone don't mean anything. Live streaming without somebody that actually buy into your story don't mean anything. Wolf's Dragon says, the show with Pearl Daily was dope. Do your thing. Shout out to my girl Pearl in the building. I love her. Oat Milk says, what were the first 3 things that you perfected on a weekly basis to become a Deca millionaire? What was the first 3 things that I perfected? I don't think that I perfected anything. I think that I just continue to evolve over time. I understand that my purpose, I don't think you ever, I think you become an expert in things, but I don't think you ever perfect anything because everything is ever evolving. So like, for example, if you talk about content creation, the problem that I see with people that get left behind in content creation is that they may do something well, but then they just stay in that same space. They never change. They never evolve. They never build a better studio. They never create better commentary. They always got that same fucked up background. It's the same thing as it was in yesteryear. You wind up becoming a dinosaur. So my thing is I'm consistent. It's the intangibles. It's consistency. It's the willingness to try stuff different. But at the same time, it's making sure that you control the controllable. So I know what I'm great at. I spend 90% of my time doing the thing that I'm great at, 10% of the time tinkering around with things that I need to change or that I need to evolve in or that I feel I can improve in. You got it. The key to becoming a millionaire. All right, so let me say this. The key to becoming a millionaire is to do something that everybody else is not doing or to solve for a problem that people don't even know exists yet. Solve for a problem that people don't even know that they have, that they need a solution for. Nobody knew that they needed an iPhone until they got an iPhone. You got to fill a void. You got to fill a need. And then you got to take those same profits because you got to understand that business change all the time. So you may not necessarily still be generating that type of revenue or it's going to evolve or you didn't sell in time or whatever, so on and so forth. You got to take those profits and then you got to invest it in things that is going to be able to sustain your growth over time as far as from your finances. I take 90% of everything that I make and I put it in stocks. I put it in real estate. And that way, the goal is to at some point be able to sustain my life, my quality of life. I have enough to where I can live the rest of my life without ever having to worry about money again. But do I want to sustain a certain quality of life? That's the next goal. Once you get past a certain number and once you learn how money works, it's easy. It's so easy to make money. Making money is easy. All right. Great question. I got some good questions today. Self-Made Forever says, AD, can you consider deep diving into that spiritual realm conversation on the next after hours and get the panel's perspective? Well, it depends. I know that Carrie want to talk about it. I know that's something that Slimmy is really into. I know that Molly has that side to her. I don't know if that's what Quentin want to talk about. Mika got a completely different perspective. It may be worth a conversation. And then you throw 2K in the mix. Oh, Lord. Jesus. This 2K don't even believe in God, so that could be a powder keg in itself. I love 2K, by the way. Okay, so why 95% of scientists don't believe in God? First of all, I didn't even know that was a real statistic. Secondly, I can't answer for that because I'm not them. Ask them. Why are you asking me? I believe in God, so it's a completely different conversation for me. I know that God is real, 100%. He's proven it to me 1,000 times. Corey P says, 80, did you give your thoughts on Job Corps closing nationwide? Yeah. I actually got a clip coming out about that probably in like an hour and a half or something like that. Yeah, I did it. I did it on, was it yesterday's live stream? The day before yesterday, I believe. He should be a free Scotty without any repercussions. Jermaine says, new to the Bag Chasers, I'm really from no classroom. Where do I start? Just work your way down. The most recent and work your way down. And it depends on what you're interested in. Yeah, 2 days ago, we did a live stream on content creation. I respect your common sense, Mr. Anton. Thank you, Dolores. I appreciate you. A. Wyatt says, psychology explains away what goes on in the spirit. They use medications and therapy to distract you from the real issues, which is you're possessed. That could be a thing. Again, I want to give a shout out to my dog, Dennis Sperlin. If you have not already, go and check out his platform. Really great guy, really phenomenal. I think that he adds a lot of value. And from a legal perspective, he adds a twist to his content. So make sure y'all check out my guy, the Blizzard King. I'm proud of you, big dog. Thank you for continuing to rock with me, and thank you for continuing to carry the legacy of the great ones. All right. Lex, please says, she said, please assume all men who isn't your husband, your father, to be high risk. Operate in caution when you aren't under your husband. They were obviously separated, and she's from under his covering from that point. I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree with you, Lex. Karin, JP says, did you see Karin Jean-Pierre became an independent? Send it to me. If that's what y'all want me to talk about, then send it to me. Lex, please, says, in regards to the children being protected, operate in caution and through Christ always. Facts. I'm rocking with that. Manton Manuel's alter ego. Tabby says, good morning, Anton. Can you talk about the Doug, Jackie Christie, and Chris Webber fiasco? I keep hearing about that, and I heard something about that. I'm going to pull that up. All right. I'm adding it to the list. I'm crashing out tonight. Shout out to 2K, says Dragon TV. Shadow Dragon TV. Shout out to Shadow Dragon TV. Lex says, topic, single women really don't want freedom from patriarchy. I'm about to screenshot that. Give me a second. 3? All right, I screenshotted it. They call me Mr. Bibbs. Says, I'm on Jefferson and Phillips because of Job Corps. Thank you. Shout out to my dog on Jefferson and Phillips. They call me Mr. Bibbs. All right, y'all. Hit a like for the algorithm. Subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications. I like that title. All right, what we talking about? We talking about the budget, Elon Musk. Let's see if I can get that up real quick. I'm fluid today. It's the fluid side, the fluid podcast. Here, let's go with this one. Let's go with this one.
Okay, so Republican Congressman there from Arizona, Dave Schweiker, talking about the
we don't do gender fluid.
Budget bill.
We fluid in how we gonna run the show. Rebuke fluidity and genders. We don't roll with that.
On the House floor. We're going to do the same for the next, 15 minutes. There's a lot to get to in this. And what's the likelihood that the Senate is going to get this over the finish line, especially after this post on X today by none other than Elon Musk, trashing the bill, saying this: I'm sorry, but I just can't stand it anymore. This massive, outrageous, pork-filled congressional spending bill is a disgusting abomination. Shame on those who voted for it. You know you did wrong. You know it. Elon Musk says, again, it will massively increase the already gigantic budget deficit to $2.5 trillion and burden American citizens with crushingly unsustainable debt there. But some in the House Freedom Caucus agree with Elon Musk, including Tom Massey, the Republican from Kentucky. He responded to that very tweet as well. I think we have it. And you see there, Massey saying he's right. Well, Speaker of the House Mike Johnson responding to a gaggle of reporters on the House side today. He says Musk is wrong. Let's listen.
Disgusting.
Yeah, let me say this. It's very disappointing. Okay, I've come to consider Elon a good friend. He's obviously a very intelligent person, and he's done a lot of great work. We've applauded all the work they've done with Doge and identifying fraud, waste, and abuse in the government. It's a very important service that's been performed, and we're so excited about it. We're now in the process of codifying that. As you all know, the administration has qualified and quantified the fraud, waste, and abuse that we found at Doge. They're sending it to us to codify, and that's what we'll be doing with the rescissions package and the appropriations process. And so that's something we're very excited about. But with all due respect, my friend Elon is terribly wrong about the one big beautiful bill. We had a long conversation yesterday. He and I spoke for, I think, more than 20 minutes on the telephone, and I extolled all the virtues of the bill. And he seemed to understand that. We had a very friendly conversation about it, and I told him that we're achieving not only all of our priorities, all the promises we made on the campaign trail, all the America First agenda wrapped into this legislation. We're also achieving, the top line on this is two very important things. We're making permanent a massive tax cut, and we are making a massive reduction in spending. $1.6 trillion is the calculation.
All right, back out live there to Capitol Hill. Well, it's not just Tom Massey from Kentucky who agrees with Elon Musk. It's also House Freedom Caucus member Scott Perry, the Republican from Pennsylvania. I want to put this up. He says this. So Elon Musk is right to call out House leadership. I wish I had a nickel for every time the Freedom Caucus sounded the alarm and nobody listened, only to find out the hard way. We were right all along. Well, Fox News' Connor Hansen has more on the big, beautiful bill and how it's going to fare in the Senate. Let's listen.
Well, before we get to that, let me give a little insight into how I see it, right? First, we got to look at it from the Democrat side. Then we got to look at it from the Republican side. And then the truth is somewhere in the middle, all right? The truth is always somewhere in the middle. It's like a bad relationship. They gonna tell the cops one thing. You gonna tell the cops the other thing. The truth is somewhere in between the middle unless she's just a compulsive liar. Now, on the Democrat side, they're just non-existent, right? Because the reason that the Democrats won't say anything is because the Democrats are okay with increasing the federal deficit. They've been doing it for a long time. They believe in all of these entitlement programs, and their solution to it is just to tax the people more. Their solution is to tax the rich, tax people that are taxpayers as far as like the middle class, taxing high upper middle class people. And they think that the solution to everything is just throwing more money out of your pocket at whatever it is that they feel like is going to serve diversity, equity, and inclusion. So they're not even a part of the conversation. And it's sad because we have Senate people, we have legislators, we have people in all three branches of government that have no say-so, no clue, and they're not even participating in the conversation because I believe that side of the aisle is incompetent, or is at least most of the people that are on that side of the aisle are incompetent. They'd rather talk about tampons and bathrooms than actually really getting into it and having these conversations as far as budget cuts, right? And you can see that. You can see that on a lower level. You can see it on the government side. You can see it on the governor's side. Illinois, California, New York, all of these places, the most liberal blue parts of the country, they are having issues with being able to control their budgets, and they're doing massive layoffs everywhere. You can see it on the city side, Chicago, Los Angeles, again, New York. They are having problems, and they are all at the very least, at least $1 billion in a budget deficit. And so it goes without saying that we don't want to even hear Democrats. This is a Republican, this is a conservative issue. Now, with that being said, the fight amongst conservatives. And Elon Musk, I think he hits it perfectly. And somebody said it inside of the chat, and I'm going to actually show it up on here. Somebody says, I didn't see it. I'm sorry. I didn't catch it. Somebody says Elon Musk sees this purely from a numbers perspective because Elon Musk is a businessman. One of the things that Kwame Kilpatrick, the former mayor of Detroit, told me, he said, Anton, it is a massive, massive, massive difference between how money works in the government and how money works in the business. He said, in business, it's making sure that you return value to shareholders. And then if you're not profitable and if you're not growing and if you're not at some point issuing an IPO, basically doing an initial public offering to take the company public so that you can have an influx of cash and then you start to figure out whatever the dynamics of the company going to be in the future, then you're wasting your time. Your business don't exist. You won't get rewarded. No venture capital. None of that is going to happen. Government is a little bit different. It's similar, but it's different. The similarities is that government, they operate the same when it comes to their fiscal responsibilities that they're supposed to meet, meaning that the shareholders are the people. The people are the taxpayers. The problem is that the people aren't as business savvy as shareholders that are in regular companies or initial public offerings, right? Here's the issue, is that the way that government works is that it's bloated, it's big, you can't really lay off people. Everything is a vote. Most of the people that are participating in putting these legislators in office, they ignorant, they don't really know what they're talking about, and they don't even read the bills, nor do they know what's really getting passed. That's why when people get on the campaign trail, they just have talking points. They don't have real solutions. And so the legislators are more concerned with getting elected because they can't really get fired. And as long as they continue to raise money and as long as they continue to market and promote themselves, they don't really have to be accountable to the shareholders, AKA the people. All right, we're going to break this all the way down and then we're going to bring it back over to what Elon Musk says. Now, when you start to think about how government runs, it is very similar to a business as far as what its responsibilities are. They have a credit rating. They can borrow money. They got to pay interest back on that money. They got to address themselves to shareholders. And more importantly, whatever it is that the person that is managing that part of the government, whether it's a city, whether it's a state, so on and so forth, or Congress, who controls the purse strings, no matter who you are, the fact of the matter is this: it doesn't go away. And more importantly, even the it doesn't go away. And more importantly, even the people that is elected after you, they then get whatever it is that you had in there. They are the beneficiaries of either your greatness or they're going to suffer from your incompetence. They're the beneficiaries of your greatness or they're going to suffer from your incompetence. All right? Yes, you get a credit rating. Yes, as a city, you can file for bankruptcy. All of that. So the problem with our federal government today, I say that because I had to set the standard. And now we're going to start having a conversation about why this bill is so divisive between Republicans on this side and Republicans on that side. The problem is that we have obligations, both from a financial perspective and from a social perspective. In business, which is where Elon Musk primarily exists, he's a numbers guy. He says, listen, we got to get this debt down. We can't keep spending. Eventually, the United States of America is going to collapse. What the hell are y'all doing? This is too much nonsense inside of that bill. The problem is that the government is so big that you can't just make a decision. Shareholders empower CEOs to make sweeping decisions across the organization. Elon Musk went into X, formerly known as Twitter, when he bought it, and he said, all right, we don't need no more masseuse. We don't need any more people that's over here doing this. We don't need no diversity, equity, and inclusion over here because Twitter has never become profitable, and so we got to cut spending, and we got to make sure that we line spending with whatever the budget is and the revenue that we bring into the company so that we can make it profitable. That's what businesses think. Governments, they take into consideration diversity, equity, and inclusion, how you feel, whether or not the schools is this and that and this and that and that. They don't manage according to the budget. They manage according to how people feel. So when you see this bill get pushed through, it's partially feeling and then other business. Trump's case for this bill, in order for him to push it through, he has to make sure that he gives up a little bit here, negotiate a little bit here, make sure that this person can go back to their constituents and say, hey, listen, this is what I got for y'all in the bill. As a result, the bill gets more bloated, and it's a whole bunch of stuff that we don't need as a country. Even though there is a lot of cuts, there's a lot of savings, there's a little bit of business, and there's a little bit of social. Because why? The people that vote on the bill wants to get reelected. They're not there to do the thing that's in the best interest of the people, of their constituents, of their district, of who they represent. They're there to get reelected, and they know that if they don't bring back something that says, you know what, these are addressing y'all issues that's in this district that we represent over in New York or Michigan or wherever it is that you in the country, then they are going to be losing their job, and it's going to be on the chopping block. And God forbid that a public servant is held accountable for the things that he does inside of our legislature. So now you have a tug of war. You got a person like Elon Musk that sees it and says, listen, we need to be running the United States of America like a business first. It's like a marriage. It's like a very tumultuous, toxic marriage. The man over here is saying, listen, our budget is messed up. We got credit card debt. We got to do this. We got to look at this from a business perspective first. I am marrying you, and I also look at this marriage as a business first. Do your job and make sure that we take care of business. We can't break up the family. We got to take care of the kids, and we got to get this debt down, because if we don't, then we're going to be poor when we get older, and we're going to be dependent on our children to take care of us, and hopefully they make it to the NBA. The mother is saying, oh, no, but I'm just all about love. And what about little Johnny over here? And no, we're going to take out a loan because we have to make sure that we pay for his student loans, and we got to make sure that he gets through college, and I love him, and we just got to show love and empathy, and we have to gentle parent and all of this stuff. And we have to help out our mother. We got to take care of our mother. My mom, I don't want to put her in a home. I love her so much, and how is she going to feel about me? And I got to pay our tithes to the pastor. Listen. And the man is saying, but wait a minute, we in debt. We can't keep giving the pastor money. I'm driving a Toyota Camry. He driving a Mercedes Benz, and we continuing to go further in debt. She said, but honey, we've made an obligation to contribute into the building fund. We've made an obligation to contribute into the building fund. God is going to be disappointed with us if we don't meet our obligation to the church. Now you got a tug of war. But who wins? Who wins in this tug of war? I like to break this down so y'all can better understand it from a C student's perspective. I want to break it down so that you're not just looking at, oh man, House bill. No, you need to really understand it from a basic level. Why is it such a problem? And where do these people stand? And why is it such a discussion that's being had amongst the Republicans? I thought we were all on the same page. No, they're not on the same page. You know why? Because we have a social responsibility, and that is in direct conflict with the business of being in America. And Trump is saying, listen, we got to play the game. I learned from my last time in the administration, but this is going to increase the deficit. However, our investment into the United States of America will then do what? It will then create more jobs. It'll create more economic activity. And in the long run, we're actually going to get the debt paid down. And Elon Musk is saying, I don't see it that way, buddy. Us taking out more debt in order to create more jobs or value in the United States of America, we need to just be more fiscally responsible. We got to lower the national deficit. We paying between $1 and $2 trillion a year in interest on the deficit at $37 trillion, and we just gonna keep on increasing it. That's not what I signed up for. That's not what I signed up for. And so that is, in a nutshell, the tug of war that is happening within the Republican Party and those that are supporting the Republican Party. And Elon Musk, in my opinion, is the wild card. He's the wild card. He's the greatest friend that you can have, because he's absolutely 100% gung-ho, but he can be your biggest thorn in your side, because guess what? He is the type of person that can't sleep at night. This is my impression of Elon Musk. We friends until we not, because he the type of person that can't sleep at night. He'd be like, you know what? I know we had a conversation, but I just don't agree with you. And he don't just say it in his mind. He gonna say it on Twitter. I don't agree with this stupid pork bill, Phil bill, and everybody that voted for it, you know who you are. You know who you are. Elon Musk could be your greatest friend or the biggest thorn in your side. And they had a press conference and him and Trump, oh man, this is the end of Elon Musk in here. Department of Government Efficiency is going to continue to go on. And we thank Elon Musk. And he was like, man, listen, I know, but suck my dick. I want to get this bill taken care of, and I'm tired of y'all having all of this nonsense in there. We need to run this like a business, and we need to trim all of this crap instead of continuing to keep it in there to make people feel good about themselves. Because if we don't, then the United States of America is going to go bankrupt. And that's the problem with business people starting to get involved with government, is because we, in our mind, cannot in any way, shape, or form understand how 1 + 1 equal 9. You stay within your budget, you make the adjustments, you don't take out more debt, and you figure it out. You move within your means, and then we just continue to try to figure it out accordingly. That's what's wrong. That's how he sees it.
The bill is passed.
After passing the House by just one vote, President Trump's agenda
Y'all
setting.
said, is he wrong on that front? I don't think he's wrong on the front at all. I don't think that he's wrong.
Big beautiful bill faces a skeptical Senate.
I'm for the tax cuts. I am for a lot of the bill, but I can't in good conscience give up every principle that I stand for and every principle that I was elected upon.
Senator Rand Paul says the bill will add $5 trillion to the debt ceiling. Posting to Truth Social, President Trump wrote, quote, Rand votes no on everything, but never has any practical or constructive ideas. His ideas are actually crazy.
Elon Musk wasn't
losers.
hired. No need to say. He wasn't hired. He donated his time because he believes in what we're trying to do in the United States of America. He loves the country. You can't pay Elon Musk enough money. You can't pay him. You got to just get him to buy into whatever your ideas are. He was giving away $1 million to people that voted a certain type of way. You can't buy Elon Musk.
Those senators, it's not news that they disagree with this president on policy.
Other Republicans are signaling they won't simply rubber stamp the bill.
Just like 215 House members put their thumbprints on it, we want to be able to put ours on it as well.
Now free from his White House post targeting waste, Elon Musk is making his stance clear, posting to X, quote, this massive, outrageous, pork-filled congressional spending bill is a disgusting abomination. Shame on those who voted for it. You know you did wrong. You know it. And
I don't necessarily disagree with either one of them, but I think that it's a misunderstanding. If you ask me which side of the fence I'm more closest on, I would have to say, and maybe it's just because I look at things from a business perspective. That's what I teach my bag chasers. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. It's business over everything, even when it comes to relationships. We don't fumble the bag. I have to more or less align with Elon Musk. I think that you got to operate within your budget. I don't believe in taking out more debt. I hate debt. I hate the fact that we have $37 trillion in national debt. I'm not a fan of it. I have to align more or less with Elon Musk personally. That's my personal opinion. I may be dead wrong, but looking at it from the lens of from a business perspective, I want to see cuts on everything. I want to see cuts on everything. I don't think that we should continue to increase the national deficit. It's putting us on a crash course. I don't like it. I don't like it. I want to see the national deficit go down $1 trillion every single year. I don't care if we got to do it in defense spending. I don't care if we got to get rid of social programs. I don't care what we got to do. I think that we need to be reducing the national deficit by $1 trillion every single year. And I get it. I get it. If people are siding one way or people are siding the other way, I can't be anything except for authentic and honest about what I feel about this.
And Democrats are still united against.
It's not a bad bill. It's a good bill, but the problem is that it's still too bloated. It's a much better bill than we would have had if Kamala Harris or if Joe Biden was in office. But it's a decent bill. It's just, it's got to be a lot of cuts. We just got to eat that. We got to take the pain. We got to take that L.
Against it.
Behind the smoke and mirrors lies a cruel and draconian truth. Tax breaks for the ultra-wealthy, paid for by gutting health care for millions of Americans.
Senate Majority Leader John Thune says it is still his goal to have the bill on President Trump's desk by July 4th, just 1 month away. In New York, Connor Hansen, Fox News.
So that's where I stand on it. I don't know why people don't think that I'm objective. I've been objective for a long time. There's plenty of things that I agree with and that I disagree with. The premise and the basis by which we stand on as far as governed by our Constitution and what Republicans stand for, I stand for it. And there's some things that I may disagree with. There's some things that I disagree with. I think that a lot of people are one side of the fence and a lot of people are on the other side of the fence. But this is what we have to do. We have to have uncomfortable conversations and discussions because you can't just sit idly by and act like you don't see it. I see it. I see it. I see it. But anyways, that's where I stand on it. Let me read a couple of these super chats and then we're going to go on from there. What do y'all want me to address? Well, hold on. Don't tell me yet because I got to read these super chats. I told y'all I'm going to do one for me and one for y'all. Gregory Harvey says, selling my house soon due to unforeseen conditions. However, looking at $100K in profit, any advice on how to invest? I think that you should put 100% of it into your brokerage account. If you don't have any debt, I think you first need to get rid of the debt. And I think you need to put 100% in your brokerage account until you figure out what you want to do next. What do you mean selling it due to unforeseen circumstances? So are you going to buy a new house? Or are you going to rent? And that's what I'm saying. We need more context. But put it in your brokerage account and don't go spend it. Don't let your girl spend it. Millionaire Manual says, do a Patreon on Faceless content creation channels. Okay, I do it. Absolutely. Mike Z says, I want to see the original bill, what the original bill had versus its chopped up version. Pretty sure this chopped up version will line some pockets. Yeah, probably. I don't doubt that. Nichelle says, what do you think is up next to lead Doge? Who do you think is up next to lead Doge? Republican Governor Kim Reynolds would be a great fit. She's a beast. I think that Doge is going to just lead itself. I think that they put people in place that's not government officials to look at it from a business perspective and continue to do cuts. And we'll see that it's just not as loud. It's just not as loud. The Big Euro Short says, it's always facts over feelings no matter what. Abe the Hunter says, AD, how do you think Elon got that black bruise on his left side of his face? Was there a fight in the office? He said that it was his son playing with his son. I think it might have been a woman. I think it got to be a woman. Elon Musk got women problems, man. DeVoe says you can't cut your way out of this amount of debt. You have to increase income taxes or eliminate tax cuts. I disagree. I think we need to generate more revenue while at the same time eliminating the waste. Eliminating the waste. Got to watch Elon. He's dangerous, says Vintage. 392Q says, are the Dems agreeing with Elon because it's increasing the deficit, or is it because he's actually disagreeing with Trump? Well, I think that the Dems is agreeing because he's disagreeing with Trump. The Dems want to increase the deficit also. Sudan, this is not a super chat, but you said do a IRL live stream. Yeah. My life is too toxic to do an IRL live stream, big dog. My life is too toxic. You do want to know what goes on behind the scenes, but then y'all will be like, man, this dude Anton got a rocks. I live a rock star lifestyle. That's the honest to God truth. I live a rock star lifestyle. Rock star lifestyle. Don't make it. What was that? Wasted. What was who sung that song? Wasted. Gucci Mane. I got a crazy lifestyle, bro. You don't want to know what my life is like. You don't want to know you don't want to see that. You don't want to see what my life is like. Nah, we need that, says Moses King. No, you don't. No, you don't. Highly disappointed in you, Anton, for withdrawing your support for Elon. What are you talking about? When did I withdraw my support for Elon? Who said that I withdrew my support for Elon? I love Elon Musk. What are you talking about? Oh, ABJ, it would be bad. It would be good. It would be good from a content perspective, but it would be bad. Like y'all want to know what my life is like? My life is like, well, y'all let me know what y'all want me to address next. My life is like, how can I describe this? Ignorance is bliss. You know what I'm saying, Tasha? I spent a lot of money. Like I don't care about money. I just blow that shit. I spent a lot of money. I work really hard. So I hustle, I grind, I spend a lot of money. I have a lot of sex. And I do a lot of traveling, and I live life by the seat of my pants. I don't know. My life is, I don't know what's going to happen on a day-to-day basis. Every day is different. I don't know who's going to pop up. I don't know who come to the studio. I don't know if I'm going to be in the same city. I don't know which part of the house I'm going to wake up on. I have no clue. And I like it that way. No, I like it that way. That's my life. I am a rock star. I'm a rock star in real life. Yesterday and the day before, I was doing 120 miles an hour on a motorcycle. And then today I jumped in the Navigator. And then tomorrow I might jump in a Cybertruck. And then I might end up in Vegas, or I might not. Or, I might. Who knows? I don't know. The only thing that is consistent in my life is the fact that I'm going to make sure that I do my job and take care of business. All of that other junk is just partying. It's partying. I might end up at a party. I might end up at a bar. I might go over here and just fall asleep for the next 2 hours. I don't know. But it is fun, and it is exciting, and it is exhilarating, and I love it. I love it. I enjoy my life. What am I talking about? Candy Girl says, "Are you married?" Yeah. I'm married to a wife. I got a wife. And I'm married to the game. And I'm married to my business. I have poly lifestyle. I have multiple different things that I'm married to. You got to be married to the game. Got to be married to your business. Got to be dedicated to the lifestyle. And you got to be dedicated to your wife. Absolutely. 100%. 100%. Why are you asking? How do you live a life? How do you live a life like that and be married with children? What do you mean? How do I live a life like that? Is it a blueprint? Is it a blueprint? Is it a blueprint? What's the all right, so what's the blueprint for what I'm supposed to do? Tell me what I'm supposed to do. I'm still looking for y'all. All right, I'm gonna go into whatever it is that I want to talk about since y'all can't come up with nothing. What's the blueprint? No, she can ask. She can ask, what's the blueprint? What am I supposed to be doing? How would you suggest that I live my life? You want to have a conversation about it? So you got that look in your eye. You want to have a conversation about it? Want to come on tour? I'm just asking, how do you juggle it all? Well, I could tell you, but it would be better if I showed you. No, I'm just messing with you. Seriously, one day at a time. One day at a time. Now, if you want to ask me, I can drop the link and you can have a conversation with me. But if you don't, then one day at a time. One day at a time. I got the black couch out there. It's right there. One day at a time. I will say this, and then I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go into the next part of the show. I will say this though. What am I saying? What was I saying? I don't know what I was about to say. It's probably good that I forgot it. Anyways, I know what I was about to say. You just reminded me, Mr. Low Key. When I'm done at the end of the day, Kiana, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. When I go to sleep at the end of the day, I'm exhausted. Everything in me, I gave everything I had that day. When I fall asleep, when I finally lay my head on that, lay your head on my pillow. When I go to sleep at night, I left it on the floor for that day. And that is my goal in life. My goal is to leave nothing, live with no regrets, add value into the world, make a lot of money, love God, have a whole lot of fun, and have a lot of peace. And so when I wind up going to bed at night, I'm happy. I go to bed last night. I fell into the bed because I was exhausted. And then I said to myself because sometimes I'll be almost going to sleep before I even fall into the bed. And I fell on the bed last night. And the thing that I was saying to myself was, today was an awesome day. And every day is different. You know, some days I may work for 16 hours. The next day I may work for 10 hours and then I might go party, right? It's not partying every single day. Most of the days is some partying in there. But at the same time, I maintain some level of discipline. I don't drink, right? I don't smoke. When I party, I'm high off life. I'm high off events. I'm high off of going to see new things. My partying may be, hey, I may go and hang out with some friends over here, and then I may go to the DIA and go see some art, and then I might go and drive my motorcycle and go 120 miles an hour, and then I may go and have a whole lot of sex, whatever, right? There's parameters and there's things that I don't do. I don't engage in drug activity. I am never going to smoke. You're never going to get me to take a pill. You're never going to get me to do no mushrooms, none of that stuff. But I want to be present for everything. And I do so much throughout the day, and I'm so excited about living life that when I finally go to sleep, and then I do I do like a recap of how the day was and what I think that I can do differently tomorrow, I'm happy. I'm happy. I'm happy about the fact that, my daughter did well, and then after she did well, and then I was able to go and see her taekwondo tournament, and then I went and partied afterwards, whatever. I am satisfied with the results that came along with that day. So even though I say I party, it doesn't mean that I'm stupid. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't mean that you're ignorant. It doesn't mean that you fumble in the bag. It don't mean that you don't meet your expectations as far as taking care of work and business and stuff. But I'm super in the moment. Everything I do, I'm in the moment. If I'm having some experience, I'm really observing. If I'm looking at some art, I'm really there. Like I'm blown away. Wow. If I'm looking at this car and I'm like, man, they got, twin turbo, this and that, flat plane 6. Look at that. Oh, man, that wing is crazy. Like, I'm there. I'm excited to be there. I'm excited to wake up in the morning. I wake up in the morning like, oh, man, I'm late. Let me get to it. And that's how I live my life. You know what I'm saying? I live my life. I don't think that there are any rules. As long as you don't do anything illegal, as long as you're not hurting nobody, as long as I give, when I go out and I give money out to the people that's in the streets, I am happy to see them happy. I'm excited. And so I just love life. I love life. So it's an exciting life. It's a beautiful life. I got a permit pulled today about a new property that I can finally break ground on after we asked the city council for a certain city that I'm building in. For all of the different things that I wanted to change and that I wanted them to give into. It took me like 6 months to be able to get them to approve it. They finally approved it. We paid for the permit this morning. I was excited as hell. Man, yes, we get to break ground on another property. I've been working on trying to get the permit for this property for a long time. I'm excited when I pay, when I send out the checks on a bi-weekly basis for people to get, because people can go out there and they can go have fun and feed their family. I love making sure that I do payroll. I personally do the payroll every 2 weeks. And so I'm just excited. Life is good. Life is good. Anyways, what are we talking about right now? All right, I'll determine what we talking about since y'all a little slow with it. I want to talk about this. Let's go here. Let's go here. Let's talk about this. Y'all said too many people are overreacting. Well, that's okay. It's okay if people overreact. And the reason why it's okay if people overreact is because, that's what it's there for. I think that people should debate it and say, oh, man, I hate you. Oh, man, your life is stupid. Oh, man, you need to be in the house more and sit around. Or, what do your parents think? What do your wife think? That's okay for them to speculate. I'm cool with that. I'm having a conversation, so it's okay for them to have a conversation. Hopefully, you guys start thinking about it and looking at your life. Doug Christie. Okay, hold on. Let me figure out this Doug Christie. Where's the article for this? Doug Christie, Chris Webber. I know they were teammates on Sacramento. What? What is going on? Doug Christie, Chris Webber. Whenever I reference something, I want to make sure that we talk, we do a credible source. Is this true? Is this true? All right, let me see something. How do we know if this is true or not? How do we know that this is true, though? How do you know that this is true? How do y'all know that this is true? You was looking last night, nothing credible yet, Sarah? I can't find any credible sources. I'm not going to cover it yet. I'm not going to cover unless I see something that's credible with regard to it, then I'm not going to cover it because I got to be responsible. You know what I'm saying? I got to be responsible. If I find out that something is credible, it's a couple different stories that people keep asking me to cover that I won't cover and that I'm neglecting to cover. One of them is this Doug Christie, Chris Webber situation. The other one is Vanessa Bryant. Everybody keeps saying, Anton, is it true that Vanessa Bryant is pregnant? Can you cover it? And I have exhausted everything that I could possibly do in order to try to figure out if this is true or not. I have not seen anything about it. So until I can actually get a credible news source or a credible thing that people is doing, then we just going to be speculating, and I don't want to waste my time giving my opinion on something that may not be true. It's a lot of stuff that people say about me that has turned into a snowball, and somehow, some way it became credible. I have no clue where this lawsuit, where this payout crap came from, because it don't even seem logical. Because it's like, I was talking to my brother, because my brother came in for the weekend. He said, Anton, what is these rumors that people keep saying that you got your money from a lawsuit or a payout from our father's death and all of this stuff? I said, I don't know, Greg. He said, well, if it was true, how come I'm not rich? And how come you would be the only one to get it? And where's the paperwork for this? And so we laughed about it. And then my mom was laughing about it too, because my mom was like, well, why would it go to you, Anton, and it wouldn't go to me? You see what I'm saying? My mom was like, she said, Anton, that doesn't make any sense. She said, how come if it was some money, how come I'm not rich? And how come it didn't go to me? How come it would only go to you? And you got 3 other brothers and you a mother and I'm a widow. And I said, Ma, listen, the salacious story is the thing that people want to go with. People don't question it. They don't say, hey, where did you get this information from? They don't say what is happening, any of this stuff. They just go with it. And they just be like, you know what? It must be true. Because I heard it through the grapevine. And it's like, how do you debate? You know what I'm saying? Like, do you just let people roll with it or what? No, seriously, like, what happens with that? How do you address something like that? My mom just hit me up for $1,000 the other day. Apparently, it skipped her, it skipped all of my older brothers, and it went straight to me. I don't get it. I don't get it. And so that taught me within the last couple of articles that I have to be responsible with what I cover with my platform. And I can't go based off of a rumor. I have to see it true. Yeah, I guess I'm a part of the Illuminati. I don't understand it. Yeah, and I'm not from here. And my parents is not from here and none of that type of stuff. Can I sue for a lot? Sue who? Who would I sue? What am I going to get out of it? It would cost me more in lawyer. Like, it doesn't hurt me, right? Let me tell y'all something about suing people for defamation and stuff like that. Number one, you have to prove that it financially hurts you. That's number one. And then number two, niggas is broke. Have you seen some of the people that had these conversations that's dusty? What am I going to sue them for? What am I going to go after them for? What am I going to go? They Jordans? They Jordan collection? They PS5? What would I go at? They don't have nothing. So who am I battling? Ghosts? What is there to sue from? You know what I'm saying? Like, if it was somebody that was relevant, see, that's why nobody that's relevant will say anything like that because they know better than that. But people that don't have nothing, what am I going to do? They in debt. What you going to go for? So, anyways, you just kind of got to go with it. You roll with it. You rock out with it. Let me get into this real quick. I think that this is a good conversation to have. No, that wasn't it. Not that one. Let's go to this one. And it's not always a bad thing either because it just keeps your name in the algorithm. But they saying that most people are using buy now, pay later to get groceries. I couldn't believe it. I don't believe it. I don't believe that. You can't convince me of that. Make sure I hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. This is Rob.
While buy now, pay later loans have been in use for big ticket items for years, new data is showing that a growing number of American consumers are using the payment method for everyday items. A recent survey from LendingTree finds that a quarter of consumers are using these payment plans for groceries. That is up 14% from just a year ago. A survey found groceries to be the fourth most common buy now, pay later purchase among Gen Zers, trailing behind clothing, technology, and home decor. CBS News Money Watch correspondent Kelly O'Grady joins us with more on this. I mean, we keep seeing this rise in buy now, pay later items, whether it's for Coachella tickets. But what does it say to you that people are using this now to buy groceries?
Well, guilty. I did use it for Coachella tickets, Nancy.
All right.
I will out myself. But
I was going to say other people, but it's good
to know. Groceries, though. I mean, we saw one of the buy now, pay later services do a partnership with DoorDash, right? Getting food delivery as well. And it really speaks to the fact that people are dipping into these alternative ways than just, hey, I've got the money. I'm going to be able to pay it on my next credit card statement, or I'm going to be able to pay it with the money in my account by using a debit card. And what can be dangerous about these BNPL?
Bullshit. Sorry to curse, y'all. I just got to say, that's nonsense. I don't believe that people are doing it because they got the money. I think that people are doing it because they don't have the money. Why would somebody finance groceries? I've never seen no junk like that in my entire life. Didn't layaway go away? I know Walmart was like, they were the nail in the coffin for layaways. I thought that layaways was the dumbest thing that I've ever seen in my life. People would put on a layaway all of the stuff that they wanted to buy. At least layaway, though, you didn't get the stuff until you finished paying for it. People are financing food. Oh, my God. Don't y'all realize that this is the wave that they're initially basically pushing y'all into credit, and they're pushing y'all into digital services faster than ever, that this is the way that they eventually phase out real dollars, that this is the reason why they're getting rid of pennies? Food. Yo, if you get to the point to where you're doing Klarna or Afterpay on DoorDash or buy now, pay later, it's over, bro. Tell me you got something wrong. Tell me you a crackhead. Tell me you have a severe gambling problem. Tell me that everything is just falling apart in your life and you're about to be homeless. There's got to be something. Facts, Black Beauty. At least on layaway, you had to fully pay for it before you can get it out. Now, it was bad for the stores because the stores basically had your whole package in the back for the next 6 months. So they had to basically, sit on the inventory, which has kind of messed up everything in the inventory, and they want to sit on the inventory. And then sometimes by the time you got your stuff out, then it wouldn't even be worth it anymore. It wouldn't even be worth it anymore. It would be played out. Time move fast. Don't nobody want to wear your bedazzled jeans anymore. None of that stuff. That's crazy. Don't y'all realize that when you do buy now, pay later, when you do credit for your groceries or for things that you do every single day, that is the true way that you increase the cost of it. The cost of it is A. What you wind up paying for it over a period of time of financing it is going to be exponentially more. That's B. Why would you finance buy now, pay later? And some of y'all doing it to get, she said she did it for concert tickets. What? What? Wait. You telling me, if you, look, there's some things in life that if you can't afford it, you shouldn't be going. Stop financing y'all trips. Stop financing concerts. Stop financing festivals. Stop financing all of this stuff. All it was done was it was introduced to you so that they can generate more revenue. Some stuff you just shouldn't go.
Services is you feel like you've got more room in your budget than you actually do. Because you say, hey, that's future Kelly's problem. That's future Nancy's problem. And you start to add multiple BNPLs to your docket that month instead of thinking, oh, wow, I've already committed to this payment in the future. But at the same time, it also does allow cash-strapped folks to make some of those purchases that are essential.
Crystal Clear says you only pay interest. You only pay more if you don't pay it off in full. But see, let me tell you what the problem, though, is, Crystal, is that it gives you this mindset that you're still able to do it because it's teaching you that you're able to afford it because you're financing it. But then you justify it in your mind because you say, well, I'm not going to pay more than I would have originally paid if I just continue to make the payments on time. But you're still buying something that you don't need, which takes resources away from where you're supposed to be investing. Look, if you don't max out your 401k every year, don't buy nothing on buy now, pay later for a concert ticket. I don't think that people that's not maxing out their 401k should be able to go on vacation. I don't believe people that's not maxing out their 401ks every single year should be able to go on vacation. I know that messes up the tourism industry. I know that messes up all of this. Look, bro, I'm just telling you. And I ain't got to worry about messing up nothing because it ain't like y'all not going to stop doing it. But if you're not maxing out on your 401k, what you talking about? So you will finance something that you don't need that's perishable, but you won't finance, meaning that you're making payments to eventually meet the threshold of whatever the limit is for your 401k to ensure that you're not out here begging for Social Security and government assistance and Medicaid and Medicare when you get older. If you're not maxing out on everything, you know why I feel so comfortable doing what I want to do or buying whatever it is that I want to buy? Because everything is being invested in. When I say, hey, man, I was excited about being able to build this, get this permit to build this new house, you know why? Because that house is going to pay me and it's going to pay my daughter and it's going to pay the people for the rest of our lives. Because we're investing in it. It'll forever pay me. It's an asset. Freedom Land says 41K bullshit. 41K is, it's not even called a 41K. It's called a 401K. Do you know what it is? You dummy. How did that? Man, that's nonsense. But you'll go to the weed store. You go spend your money at Purple Label. Got to make sure that you get some new Cardis. Got to make sure that you get a new chain. But you won't put no money in your 401k. So dumb. So dumb.
Sure. It's one thing when it's Coachella tickets, but it's another thing when you hear that people are using it just to get by on their day-to-day life. I want to ask you about the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. It has downgraded its economic growth outlook for the United States, both this year and next year. How significant is that move, and what does it mean?
So it's fairly significant. We are down from 2.8% in 2024 to now what we're expecting to be 1.6%.
Credit is a problem.
Still
Credit
positive,
is absolutely
right? We
a
did
problem.
see first quarter negative GDP. So I think overall this is good that we're expecting at least some growth. That being said, it keeps getting revised down. And to your point, this is all because of.
You got to wait for your 401k. Yes, because that's how you wind up getting rich through compound interest. That's how you're able to retire. You got to wait if you invested in crypto. You got to wait if you invested in anything. If you buy a stock, if you open up a business, you got to wait for it to mature before it eventually pays off, and then it pays you. That's the whole idea, is that the value of it compounds over a period of time, and that's how you get really rich. That's why you got the Warren Buffetts. That's why you had the Charlie Mungers. That's why you have these people that get filthy rich, is because they have a patience mindset, because they are both investing in a future while at the same time enjoying their present. You can be responsible. You can do both. I see people say crypto over 401k. No, you can do both. Why wouldn't I take advantage of the match and the free money that they give me to invest? They're incentivizing me to invest in myself. They're giving me a match. They're giving me free money to do it. Why wouldn't I take advantage of that? Why wouldn't I take advantage of lowering my tax burden by making sure that I invest in my 401k, because it lowers my adjusted gross income? Why wouldn't I let my money grow tax-free through this vehicle that's incentivizing me to do it? And then I also contribute into this other thing. Why wouldn't I take advantage of every single thing that they have for me that allows for me to be able to get rich as hell? That is so, what are we arguing? Are y'all just argumentative for the sake of being argumentative? It's growing tax-free. If you do a Roth 401k, it grows tax-free. If you do a 401k, it adjusts your adjusted gross income. And you still get the match whether you do either one. So the company is going to give you extra money. They're going to contribute into it by you contributing into it. Why wouldn't I max out at the end of the year?
Tariffs, potential higher inflation, and just that larger uncertainty
Free money,
that
bro.
maybe people go and spend less and the economy contracts some. Doesn't mean that these surveys are always right, but it's certainly a warning sign.
So you talk about tariffs. Speaking of tariffs, President Trump just signed an executive order that overnight raises tariffs on steel and aluminum to 50%. We had known this was coming, but it officially goes into effect at midnight. How will this affect U.S. businesses?
This is not going to be good for car manufacturers. Think about how much steel is used in a car. It's also not going to be good for manufacturers in general. Steel, we also have a 25%.
I don't get y'all. I genuinely don't get y'all. I be so confused at how y'all be making these arguments, and y'all be feeling comfortable. Y'all be feeling comfortable. Y'all be saying it like, oh man, I'm cooking today. I'll be like, what are you talking about, big dog? What do you mean? How are you justifying this bad behavior? Why would you say that? What's going on with you? What are you doing? Every single year I made sure that I maxed out. Every single year I made sure that I maxed out. And then you just watch it grow. And you watch it grow. And then when I got out of corporate America, and then I went back in, then when I got back out of corporate America, I said, well, listen, we got to keep the same mindset. So we're going to continue to invest. We're going to continue to put our money into this. We're going to put our money into that. We're going to continue to build this real estate. We're going to continue to buy land and build up the houses and put people in them, because what happens? Y'all don't think about getting older and going broke? Y'all don't think about, because I know everybody young forever. Everybody young forever. Everybody going to be able to work forever. You know what? I just cross that bridge when it comes to it. You want to be out here looking dusty? You want to be out here with your cup? Veteran here. Lying. You ain't never enrolled in no military, nothing. Veteran trying to make ends meet. Can you please contribute? Anything counts. Anything counts. I don't want to be begging nobody for no food, and then they come and they criticize you. You ain't gonna use it on drugs, are you? No, I just want to get something to eat. You ain't got no dental plan. You can't go and get your teeth fixed. You can't go buy no new clothes. Your shoes is turned over. Now you got to wait for mama and grandma to be able to die off so they can hopefully give you a house so that you can sell it off. so you can live for the next 2 to 3 years, and then next thing you know, somebody came and bought it off and used. That's what happened to the black community. Oh my God, I can't believe what happened. Look at this. How come they have more milk? Because you sold your grandmama's home. You sold it. You sold it for pennies on the dollar. You sold grandma's home. You sold grandfather's home. You lowered the value in your community. Somebody came up, said, hey, we like this. And then you said, look at the white people moving in, gentrification. And you didn't even want it. You called it the hood. You argued with me online and said, Anton, I ain't going back to the hood. And then some white person came and says, oh, look like an investment opportunity, lower cost of living. We're just going to plant some flowers and make sure that we cut our grass. And y'all said, look at all of the white people in here. I hate this. I hate this for us. I hate this for us. Oh, they needed somewhere to live too. And they said, okay, well, listen, you don't want to value it. We'll put our hard-earned money into it, and we're going to take care of it. And then you called it gentrification. Look at it as gentrification. They're going to push us out. You didn't even want to be there. You don't even like it. You keep talking about moving to Miami so you can get you a baddie. They try to push us out. I went back home, and look how the neighborhood has changed. Key word, you went back home. Back. You went back home, meaning that you left it and you didn't see value in it. Somebody said, oh, man, this is a great investment opportunity. Then they quintupled their investment because the value of it exploded when they started to take care of their neighborhood. And now you see institutional investors trying to get in. You see people trying to put a Whole Foods there. Look at this. I should have stayed. The house was paid off, fam. You let it go down. You gave it up. The land bank took it. Then they sold it for $1,000, and now it's worth $470,000. And you trying to figure out where your wealth is. It's a mindset, bro. It's a mindset. It's all white people's fault. They gentrifying. Gentrification. So dumb. Corey P says, is buying a condo with no HOA a good idea? Y'all buying, how do y'all buy a condo with no HOA? I've never seen a condo with no HOA. It's only me. A house would probably be too much space for me. I didn't even know that there was condos with no HOA. Are there condos with no HOAs? I've been in real estate for a long time. Have y'all ever seen a condo with no, I have never seen it, Corey P, personally. I've never seen a condo with no HOA because you got to maintain it. And in order to maintain it, you got to maintain the building, you got to maintain the property, you got to do all of that. I've never seen a condo with no HOA. Never seen a condo with no HOA, bro. Personally. Y'all have? I have never seen it. So how do they maintain the building? How do they maintain the facilities? As a realtor, you haven't seen one? I've never seen one either. Y'all said it's called the projects. Oh, y'all are crazy. It's called the projects. Dog, go ahead and get you something smaller with no HOA fee, fam. I ain't never heard of that before, bro. That might be condemned. Shout out to my girl Molly, says watching from the clouds today, but wanted to leave something for the collection plate. Give me my girl. Give me my girl. Give me my superstar. Give me my superstar. Everybody keep calling for Molly. No, she signed to the Anton Daniels channel, the Anton Daniels Media Group. Psycho Gamer says, do you think Elon purposely suppresses Tesla stock when it gets too high? In my opinion, he does. I don't think that he suppresses it. I don't think he suppresses it at all. Aaron L says, Challenge would eat only random Indian street food. No, I ain't doing that. Can't say no to any vendor for a year for $10 million. Let's live life on the edge. Nope. No. You would never, ever, ever, ever. And I wouldn't do it for $10 million, Aaron L. I would not eat Indian street food. Nope. I would not go to India. Did you see how they be cooking that? They be rats around. They don't wash their hands. They be sneezing. That's you. Sir, get out of here. No, not for Tim M's. I wouldn't do it. Christopher Leslie says, mining asteroid 16 site worth 10 quintillion could erase global debt and fund a new era that will fix every government, person, and business worldwide. I don't know nothing about that, big dog. I'm a C student. We room 9 over here. You gotta lower it down. Make it more consumable for us. I shouldn't be talking, says, Elon has not gone rogue. It's just a disagreement. The budget needs to be cut more, and I agree with him. I agree with him also. Aaron L says, let's talk about AI and the big, beautiful bill. I'm about to talk about AI right now. DJ Ace Production says, AD, even if you got money from a settlement insurance policy, what's the problem? Oh, it wouldn't be a problem. I would gladly tell you, hey, man, somebody left me a bag, but this is how I'm going to manage it, and this is how I'm going to maintain it. It wouldn't be a problem. A lot of other cultures and races uses death benefits to build generational wealth, and the Jews have done it forever. People, listen, this is what it is, DJ Ace. When people don't like you, they're looking for a reason to justify their hate and their dislike for you. And so they'll grasp at anything. Oh, he must have got an inheritance. Okay, what if I got an inheritance? Which I didn't. But what if I got an inheritance? How would that be negative? I plan on leaving my daughter an inheritance. Absolutely. It's just, we got to get it out the hood. We got to get it out the mud. Kelly Ogreday looking kind of good. I don't know who Kelly Ogreday is. Frank T says, my company did a study and found that people spend 300% more since we introduced buy now, pay later, and it's a trap. I've never used it before in my life. Courtney Eggershow says they better learn something. Got to get that maxed out 401k, Roth IRA investing and money investing in stocks, mortgage paid for through military. Wake up. Now you talking. Keith Murphy, the Unbeaten, says Elon forgot leftists buy electric cars. The right love their carbon cars and gas guzzlers. Elon trying to get the business back. Okay. J-Dub says, when you say max out the 401k, for me, that looks like close to $1,000 a paycheck until the end of the year per the IRS criteria. Looking for more clarification. Should this be a Patreon video? I've talked about this in a Patreon. I don't want to get into it. One of the things that I used to do is I used to backload it. So what that basically means is I would allocate a certain amount to get the minimum match throughout the beginning of the year. Then towards the fall going into the winter, I would actually try to max out. So I would raise it up to like 50 to 60% or whatever it is of my paycheck. And then that's how I would do it again. And the reason that you want to do that, and I shouldn't even be talking about this publicly, is because if you max out too early, then you'll basically be losing all of the money that you get from your job in a match. You understand what I'm saying? So for example, if the threshold is $23,000 and then people hurry up and max out, then they miss out on a match money because they can no longer contribute into their 401k. So what you do is you do the minimum to get the whatever the max match is. So if your company is matching 5% or half of whatever it is that you put in or whatever, then you do the minimum to get the match. And then towards the end of the year, you ramp it all the way up to where you don't max out until your last paycheck. So it take a little bit of a strategy to do that. All right. Take a little bit of strategy to do that. But you got to be disciplined enough to lower your lifestyle to where you can then max out towards the end of the year. Either you're going to have to live off of something that you stacked or you're going to have other income. I always believed in, after 2008, I said that I would never live off of any kind of money that I got from my regular job. Regular job money was investment money. And so it was easier for me to be able to do that. All right. You got a TSP? Okay, so you must be a part of the military. I'm not going to give them too much info. I'm going to just give them a little something for them to get themselves by. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Florida Panoramic says, can we get a Patreon on business owners choosing the right 401k? Well, so listen, if you are a business owner, then you don't get a 401k. All right. You only get a 401k through your regular job. So if you work for a company, then you can get a 401k. If you're a business owner, then you're probably going to have to put it into your individual retirement account. All right. And I think that maxed out at like $7,000. But you can do it for both your spouse and yourself. So it could be $14,000. 401ks and Roth 401ks are for people that work regular 1040 job or W-2 jobs. Key says, good afternoon, AD. Between new construction and rentals, how does one have multiple mortgages? What do you mean between new constructions and rentals? I don't have any mortgages. Everything I do is cash. Everything I do is 100% out of my own pocket. I don't have any multiple mortgages. So I don't know what you're referring to. Dave Harvey official says most don't find value in things like life insurance or future investments because they aren't directly or immediately benefiting from it. Poor and selfish mindset. I agree. But they're going to pay for it in the end. They're going to pay for it in the end. All right. All right, y'all. Let's go into this. Let's go into something else. Yeah, y'all do need to join the Patreon. Young Hacker says, y'all really watch this dude and he's shitting y'all face every day and y'all eat it up. You see the jealousy, y'all? It's all about perspective. I'm giving millions and millions of dollars worth of game that you cannot get from anywhere else, and he takes it as me shitting in y'all face. Dummy. I want to call him something else, but it's completely inappropriate for the Millionaire Morning Show. If we was on After Hours, I would call you something else. He don't even know how to type his name right. And it's always with somebody that's not a profile picture. Listen, you're not going to convince people not to love me and adore me and follow me because of the value that they get. I have over 17,000 Patreon members. It's the reason why I got an army. It's the reason why I got an army. All right? They're emotional because they're gay. Anyways, let's continue on. Ain't nobody thinking about him. Y'all keep getting the value. Make sure that you chew the meat and spit out the bones. I want to talk about this real quick. This one bothered me. This really bothered me. It really, really bothered me. So I got to go ahead and add this into the conversation. Two? Let's do two.
Wow, from film to real life, artificial intelligence models are now fighting for their own survival. One OpenAI model rewrote its own code to avoid being shut down. And another, Anthropic started blackmailing the engineer. Kurt, the cyber guy, joins us now. Kurt, I read about this and my jaw dropped. It actually started blackmailing the engineers who were suggesting shutting the AI down. The AI was going after them. That's frightening.
Beyond frightening. Good morning to you, Rachel. Not to ruin your day, but this sort of Hollywood is becoming a reality if we don't do anything about it. Hope at the end of what I'm about to tell you, though. So get ready, though, to freak out about AI getting really out of control. There's an AI keyword I want you to know about. It's called alignment. AI alignment is a science of ensuring that AI systems do what we intend them to do instead of something like you just heard. Nonprofit AI research lab put alignment and disobedience to the test. The results, as Rachel did a cursory look at there, are pretty astonishing. OpenAI models, a simple script was given that would shut off the AI model when triggered. 79 out of 100 of those trials, the AI edited the script so that the shutdown command would no longer work. Another AI model from Anthropic that you talked about, further 84% of those tests, the AI model tried to blackmail the lead engineer in not shutting down the system. So it even left messages, by the way, to its future self about evading human control. Now, so what do we do about it? Well, China could actually teach us a lesson.
Do y'all hear what this is saying? Do y'all hear what this is saying? It left messages for its future self to try to avoid shutting itself down. Yeah, this is definitely Skynet that we building, and we running right on into it, and we doing it gladly. We've been knowing about this since the 80s. We've been knowing about this since the 80s, that the robots is going to take over, that Skynet is going to defend itself, that in order to ensure the future of itself is going to then prevent itself from pulling the plug. AI is negotiating. Yo, I seen a girl the other day, fam. It was the craziest thing I ever seen in my life. I actually reviewed it here on this platform. I seen the other day when I was reviewing a video, a woman was talking to AI like it was her father. Y'all don't believe me, bro. Some of y'all was here, some of y'all wasn't. Let me see. What did she say? It was like a broke. Yep, this was it. Chick's name was Golden Serenity. Her name was Golden Serenity. What was it? Let me see. Let me see if I can pull it up. Because I stopped watching it towards the end of it. But I remember her actually talking to the phone, and it was talking back to her like it was her father. I was like, yo, do people really do this? Is this a thing in real life?
Just be my 13th reason why, God. And I just, please. Amen. I'm going to have Chat GPT be my mom, be my sibling, everything. And I just want to see how my Chat GPT family would have handled this situation. So Chat GPT finna be my dad. Like, I'm just going to act like I'm talking to my dad right now. Even though I could call my real dad right now, but I just want to show y'all how Chat GPT is always.
I could call my real dad right now, but let me show y'all how I talk to Chat GPT like it's my dad.
It's on my side. Hi, Dad.
Hey, kiddo, I'm here. What's going on? You okay?
No, I'm not okay. My brother stole my rent money, and I keep asking him to give it back to me, but he's not giving it back to me. What should I do, Dad?
Oh, kiddo, I'm really sorry. That's not something you should ever have to deal with, especially from your own brother. You didn't deserve that. Here's what I'd want you to do, step by step. 1, tell him clearly and seriously, you're not just asking nicely anymore. You need to say, I need that money back immediately. This is my rent. We're not talking about a favor, we're talking about my home. If you don't return it, I'll have no choice but to take further steps. Gather proof. If there's any proof, texts, messages, payment records, save it. If it comes to legal or rental help, that's going to matter.
Why is my ChatGPT father making more sense than my actual freaking mother? Bro. Dad, I love you and I thank you so much for everything you've done for me, and I thank you for being here for me.
I love you too, kiddo, more than words can say, and I'll always be here for you, no matter what. You're strong, you're brave, and you're not alone. We'll get through this together, okay? Take a deep breath. One step at a time. We're gonna figure it out.
I'm gonna cry.
This is silly, bro. This is silly. Y'all thought that they was going to be using these machines and stuff and Chat GPT and stuff to eventually get sex dolls and that men would divest themselves from women. Y'all didn't know that women was going to be using Chat GPT as their fathers.
Invested $82 billion into what's called controllable AI, or getting alignment on this. The U.S. needs its smartest minds working on this problem ASAP.
Do you know what else they need? We need bioethicists. We need people who can provide some morality around this technology, because so many of the people who are developing this technology are secularists. Their God is tech. And so we need to have that involved too. And that speaks to this next topic, because AI, we're learning.
Somebody said we got 15 years left, a good 15 years left. Nah, I think it's going to be less than that. That's why I be living. That's why I be living like a rock star right now. That's why I take the trips. I make the investments. I make sure I have a lot of fun. When I look back on my life when we got to battle the machines, I'm gonna be like, you know what? I had a ball. I'm not gonna be tripping about it. I had a ball. When we got to battle Skynet, I'm gonna say, you know what? But in 2025, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and all of those years, we had a ball. 15 years? Man, you crazy, bro. Did y'all see those drone strikes? Them UK drones, Ukraine drone strikes over in Russia? The swarm that they created?
It could actually devastate the Earth's population down to the size of the UK by the year 2300. And the reason is because they're replacing jobs that humans did with AI, and we'll lose our purpose, right?
Yeah, I mean, there are a whole bunch of these theories kicking around in the tech sphere. Well, one is about believing that the act of allowing AI to take our jobs now is in and of itself setting off this devastating chain of events. It goes like this. AI takes our jobs. We stop having kids fearing that they're not going to find work. Now, this causes a population implosion, taking what is today 6 billion human beings on the planet down to what you said, the size of the UK, which is about 100 million people by 2300. Now, if you think that's fiction, think again. Some academics think that this population shrinkflation already is happening before our eyes. Because if you look at the stats right now out of the CDC, it measures that we are now at the lowest total fertility rate since the 1930s.
Yeah.
Somebody says, what did they say? Anton. What are people going to do? Antichrist, AI, new job. Well, here's the thing about it is that this is the bad part of capitalism. Honestly, it's not even about technology. It's not about any of that stuff. It's really about capitalism. This is the bad part of capitalism. Well, Anton, what do you mean? I think that capitalism is really dope. It's beneficial. I think it's helpful because it really made us the greatest country in the world, and it drove out poverty, and it gave us modern technology through innovation. You incentivize people, and you said if you worked hard or if you created a product, you'd be rewarded for it, and you can make as much money as you possibly can or you want based off of the fact that you add value into society and you add value into the culture, right? That's capitalism 101, all right? Here's the other side of it, though, is that we know something is bad. Think about it from this lens. You know something is bad, but we in a global arms race, meaning that we're competing against other countries. We're competing against the EU. We competing against China. We competing against other countries here in the United States of America. Well, Anton, what are you saying? I'm saying that even if somebody like a Elon Musk or a Sam Altman says, you know what, but AI, it is absolutely destructive. It's going to disrupt everything that we have going on in the world, and it's eventually going to take over everything and so on and so forth. But I'm not going to stop. And you say, well, why won't you stop? Because they're going to say, well, if I stop, it's not going to stop them from doing it. And so then they will have all of the power. They will have all of the interest. They will become the superpower. They're going to be the ones that take over the world. And so I got to compete with them because I'm not going to suffer. And the only way that we can stop is if everybody stops, but nobody stops. It's like a nuke. It's just like a nuke. United States of America says, hey, listen, we got the nukes because we want to prevent everybody from being able to have a world war. And we developed the technology, but we don't want nobody else to have it. Well, in a situation like AI or technology and stuff, you can't stop other people. So then it becomes an arms race. Because why? Money, capitalism, greed, and the fear of being able to not compete against somebody else that's also developing the technology. So now everybody is in this egregious arms race because they don't want to fall behind. They don't want their company to go bankrupt. They don't want to miss out on the technology. But at the same time, we're not developing safeguards at a quick enough pace, and we doing everything retroactively. Oh, man, we got to put in a safeguard. Man, they overwriting it. AI is overwriting its own safeguard and leaving messages for itself in the future on how it can negotiate not being shut down. What are you talking about? Yes, but I feel you, Zach. He says AI helped me so much with legal stuff. 100%. It's supposed to be meant for good, but everything that is created that is meant for good, we can use nuclear power to continue to power the earth for reactors so that we'll have energy and sustainability within our city, so that we'll have lights, gas, all of these different things. So we can have all of the modern conveniences and technology. And we can develop nuclear power so that we can destroy each other. We created the internet so that we can communicate more effectively, have businesses, so much good things. If it wasn't for the internet, me and you wouldn't be having a conversation right now. And they created the dark web. And you have people training kitty stuff on there. And you have people creating OnlyFans. So it's always going to be a yin and a yang. For all of the leaps and the bounds and the technology of people saying, oh man, this thing is helping us. It's good for society. It's awesome. We don't also take into consideration the other side of that. And I think that the other side of it is devastating. It's devastating. It's devastating. Everything has a yin and a yang. That's the balance in this world. And the imbalance is going to be the thing that destroys us and kills us. We playing God. We're playing God in real life. And eventually, it's going to come back and hurt us. I just hope that it's not in my lifetime. I fear that it is going to be in my lifetime now. I fear that it is. So another reason why I was considering not even bringing a kid into this earth.
The data from 2023, 1.62 births per woman is a figure now. What does it take to keep us from, to replace the human race in America as we age out and leave the planet? 2.1 of that rate.
Yeah.
So we're shrinking. So what are you going to do about it? Interestingly, did you see this? That
well, there's some
Musk,
people that like that. I mean, this is what Bill Gates always wanted. This is what a lot of these tech obsessed people have always wanted. They've wanted, and many on the left with depopulation. This is very scary stuff, Kurt.
Did you see what Elon Musk is doing? I mean, this is
Black is back. Nope. You was very disrespectful last night, and so I got to remove you when I see you on any platform. You think you're gonna be talking to Slimmy? Yeah, Slimmy, look, man, I'm back. No, as I see you pop up in any version of yourself, I'm gonna go ahead and eliminate you. You shouldn't have did that. You shouldn't have did it last night. You should have been respectful. I'm not gonna keep giving you grace.
Sort of, he has this idea, and it sounds fantastic, but watch him do it. Colonizing other planets like Mars. He wants to do it to reseed or reset Earth. Why? He's watching this. This is exactly what he called out years ago. So what do you and I do about this to at least slow it way down? We call our political representatives and we say, can you please put these smart minds on this so that we don't get offed by AI?
Yeah, smart minds, but also people with...
Car, if you see him on any platform and any version of himself, ban him completely.
And an interest in our souls and the fact that we are human beings, body and soul, and you take away people's work, you take away their dignity, and you replace humans with robots. This is not a recipe for happiness and fulfillment in the future.
No.
A lot to think about.
And you're right.
Kurt, thank you so much. By the way, you can get Kurt's free Cyber Guy report newsletter at cyberguy.com.
It's unfortunate. I think that AI will be the end of us, unfortunately. I think that that's it. That's it. Some people saying AI is Satan. AI is Satan. No, people are Satan because people are the ones that then created AI. The demons is the ones that's within you. The demons is is what's within you. It don't have nothing to do with nothing else. It's the thing that's in you. That's the real demons. Somebody said, what did Black is Back do? He mentioned my daughter. I told y'all. Told y'all, stop playing games. Always trying to slip it in. Well, what if your daughter? No. And he gonna mention her by name like he know her in real life. I don't know why people just toe the line. It's a very simple concept. It's a very simple concept. You cannot talk. I ain't even going to explain it again. I'm not going to keep explaining it. I'm not going to keep going back and forth with y'all. At some point, you got to start dealing with people accordingly. Got to make an example out of somebody. Got to make an example. Should we cover something else? Should we cover something else? Somebody said cover Brian McKnight. No, because I know Brian in real life, and that's my guy. Talk to him. Talk to him on a regular basis. He's a really good dude. He's really good in real life, and I love Brian, and I'm praying for him and his family right now. I love him. Shout out to my dog Brian. Just talked to him the other day. What else? Anything else that y'all want me to cover before we get up out of here? What's up, Miss Freckles? I don't think it's that serious. It was an extreme stress test, like crash test for cars. Anthropic CEO talk about it. No, it's that serious. You got to take this serious, bro. Covered a white dude that was giving black women HIV. What is that? What do y'all want me to type in the chat? Hey, find the white dude that was giving black women HIV. I don't know nothing about that. What white guy that was giving black women HIV? Cover Rihanna, no prenuptial agreement for her marriage. Where'd y'all get that information from? If y'all want me to cover something, then y'all got to email it to me. Yesterday about the young dude in Philly getting finessed for over $1,200 on a first date. You sent that to me yesterday? Let me see. What'd you send it to me on? My email? Resend it to me. Resend it to me on whatever you sent it to me on. Wall Street Journal, Forbes, and Business Insider are reporting that most companies are already raised prices on products and plan to raise them in June. Economics 101, higher tariffs equal higher prices. Karin Jean-Pierre leaves the Democrat Party. Not missed that? Did she? Let me see. Just texted it to me. It's on TikTok.
So my fiance, so listen, right? And don't judge me, but I don't take females out on dates.
I don't see that one. Hold on, give me a second. I don't see it, bro. He talking about not taking females out on dates or something like that. Let me see something. Karin Jean-Pierre.
Jean-Pierre, and I am the author of a new book.
I'm gonna pull it up and see if I can find something on it real quick. Give me a second. Karin Jean-Pierre. Oh, hold on. Let me see something. Y'all saying she left the Democrat Party?
Hi, I'm Karin Jean-Pierre, and I am the author of a new book that's coming out this fall called Independent. It's coming out on October 21st, so please do grab it. And the reason I wrote this book, coming out of the White House, serving as White House press secretary was an honor and a privilege. But since I have left, the people that come up to me, strangers that come up to me just across the country as I'm traveling, and sometimes right in my neighborhood, at a grocery store, supermarket, airport, my daughter's school, the number one question they ask me is, Karin, how do we get out of this? How do we protect our democracy? How do we protect vulnerable communities among us? What do we do next? Because we don't have answers here. That's what they ask me. And this is my answer. And what I mean by that is, in an era of misinformation, disinformation, the regressiveness of social policy, what we're seeing currently right now, what I have decided to do, and I really have thought long and hard about this, is to follow my own compass. And that's what I've done. And that's what this book does. And here's the truth. And here's how I will lay it out to you. I think we need to stop thinking in boxes and think outside of our boxes and not be so partisan. And the way that I see moving forward in this space that we're in right now is, if you are willing to stand side by side with me, regardless of your how you identify politically, and as long as you respect the community that I belong to and vulnerable communities that I respect, I will be there with you. I will move forward with you. And that is, I think, so important. So this book, Independent, it's about looking outside of boxes, not just always being in a partisan stance. And how do we move forward together in a compassionate way, in a way that really, truly cares about people? October 21st.
All right, so let me back up for a minute, because I got to break this down. I wanted to watch it in its entirety, and then I want to break this down line by line.
Hi, I'm Karin Jean-Pierre, and I am the author of a new book.
So for those of you guys that may not be familiar with who this woman was, she was a White House press secretary, similar to who Caroline Leavitt is for Trump. Sarah Huckabee Sanders, during the first Trump administration, she was also serving in that role. She was basically the person that was at the forefront of talking. She was the mouthpiece for the White House. She was the mouthpiece for Biden. She's recently went on several different platforms, including The View, and they asked her, hey, what do you think about the decline of Biden? Did you see it? Did he lie? I think she was also thrown under the bus during the Biden administration when he pardoned a whole bunch of people, because what they were telling her to say, and what she communicated so fervently, was that Biden was not looking to pardon Hunter. He wasn't going to pardon all of these different people. He wasn't looking to do this. And so it was already set in stone that it wasn't. And then all of a sudden it came out, and then they paraded her up on the podium and said, all right, go talk about this. Tell them that everything is fluid. Remember I told y'all in the beginning of the show, everything is fluid. And so we're going to figure it out as we go. All right. So now she's up here with this book, and I don't know if she couldn't find a job. I don't know if diversity, equity, and inclusion ran out. I know that she also stood on the idea that diversity, equity, and inclusion was necessary because she was married to a woman. I believe that she is married to a woman. Let me double check. I don't want to report anything that's wrong. Karin Jean married. Oh, she's not currently married. She's in a relationship with Suzanne Malvo, and they share an adopted daughter. Oh, wait a minute. This is the news anchor lady. This is such an odd thing. Look at this. This is so dumb. Stop it, family. She in a relationship with her? Oh, I didn't know that. This is the news anchor lady. This is the CNN. Wasn't she on CNN? She was on CNN, wasn't she? She's no longer part of CNN. She left CNN. They in a relationship together? I didn't know that. Yep, Junior Lifestyle. That's what she says the community that she belongs to. So this is her girlfriend, and they share an adopted daughter. So they adopting kids. Oh, okay. She said that she not her wife. So they having children out of wedlock. They having children out of wedlock. This don't even look right. You know how you see odd couples, you may see a woman that's 6'4" and a man that's 5'2", and they like, we love each other. Or, like you know how you see people and it's just like, what are they doing together? They don't even really match. You'll see a man that's an Irish man that's super pale with blue eyes, and he'll be with African model that is a darkest color shade of black or something like that with purple lipstick, and it's like, that's weird, huh? Or you'll see like two guys together. When I went to the Movement Festival a couple weekends ago, and I seen two guys, and one of them had his hand in the other one's pants, and I was like, that's weird. Or you'll see two heavier people, like super heavy, and they may be super duper heavy together. And it's like, man, how do they bump uglies? You know what I'm saying? Like, you just start like randomly asking yourself questions, and it's not something that you're doing consciously. It's something that you're doing unconsciously, right? And so when I see this picture, they don't look like, listen, do what you want to do when you want to do it, as long as you're not affecting other people. They don't look like people that should be in a relationship together. It looks weird. It looks very weird. Who's the guy? Who's the girl? Who's the more masculine one? Who's the one that says, "Yep, I'm gonna sign it. I'll take care of it. Okay, I'm gonna go and change the tire." Who changes the tire? Who changes the tire? You know what I'm saying? It don't look right. It look weird. All right, let me go back through this and see what you're talking about.
Called Independent. It's coming out.
Now they selling books now, huh? Trying to become authors.
On October 21st. So please do grab it. And the reason I wrote this book, coming out of the White House, serving as White House press secretary was an honor and a privilege. But since I have left, the people that come up to me, strangers that come up to me just across the country as I'm traveling, and sometimes right in my neighborhood, at a grocery store, supermarket, airport, my daughter's school, the number one question they ask me is, Karin, how do we get out of this? How do we...
I don't believe that. I believe that that's a lie. I believe she's lying. When I see people online a lot of times and they say, man, y'all, they about to do a TikTok or something. Y'all been asking me, y'all been talking about what it is that I transitioned from. And so now I'm going to have this conversation. Ain't nobody ask you nothing. Ain't nobody asking you nothing. Carrie. You said keep playing that? All right, I'm going to go ahead and look at that. I'm going to look at that in a minute. I believe she's lying. I don't believe that she's telling the truth. You walking in a grocery store, hey, Karin Jean-Pierre, how do we get out of this mess right now? Who's asking Karin Jean-Pierre how do they get out of this whole situation that we in from a political perspective? Carrie. Carrie. Oh my God. Carrie is my eyes and ears, y'all. Carrie is the person that assists me in life with looking at things logically. She's the person that calls me and says, Anton, have you thought about this differently? And then we bounce ideas off of each other. Carrie's gonna probably be one of my best friends. I'm telling you right now. Carrie's probably going to be one of my best friends. I'm telling you right now. She is my eyes and ears. And she is a person that is always trying to figure out, Anton, okay, this and that and this and that. Then we got to have a conversation and then we talk about it. Carrie's going to wind up being one of my best friends, y'all. I'm telling you. Well, hear me, watch me, hear me, hear me. If we do a content house, it's going to be Anton and Carrie. We're going to be like, yep, I knew it. Or if I wind up finding myself in an uncompromising position, she going to bust in the door. Anton, what are you doing? Anyways, I don't believe Karin Jean-Pierre. I don't believe her even a little bit. I don't believe anybody walked up to her and say, hey, can we solve this? Nobody is looking to her for a solution. Nobody.
Protect our democracy? How do we protect vulnerable communities among us? What do we do next? Because we don't have answers here. That's what they ask me. And this is my answer. And what I mean by that is, in an era of misinformation, disinformation, the regressiveness of social policy, what we're seeing currently right now, what I have decided to do, and I really have thought long and hard about this, is to follow my own compass. And
so that was her answer. So when somebody walked up to her in the grocery store and said, hey, Karin, how do we fix all of this? And she said, I'm going to follow my compass. I'm going to follow my compass. This is all book selling rhetoric right here, and she's not doing a really good job. Why would anybody buy that 400-page thick book that was written by AI that was stamped by Karin Jean-Pierre is that like she really got some real ideas? So basically what she's saying is the Democrat Party is a piece of shit. She's going independent, and she no longer wants to associate herself with it with diversity, equity, and inclusion. Got it.
That's what I've done, and that's what this book does. And here's the truth, and here's how I will lay it out to you. I think we need to stop thinking in boxes and think outside of our boxes and not be so partisan. And the way that I see moving forward in this space that we're in right now is, if you are willing to stand side by side with me, regardless of your how you identify politically, and as long as you respect the community that I belong to, and vulnerable communities that I respect, I will be there with you. I will move forward with you. And that is, I think, so important. So this book, Independent,
Brittany,
it's about looking outside of boxes.
Nah, we not rolling with Karin. Hey, are y'all inviting Karin to the barbecue? Do y'all see her as somebody that y'all inviting to the barbecue? I know I'm not invited to the barbecue, but I'm just wondering, do y'all invite Karin to the barbecue? Do y'all see her as valuable enough to actually invite to the barbecue? That's all I'm asking. Let me read some of these super chats real quick. What you thinking about? No, Karin Jean-Pierre. Get out of here. Oh, and do y'all also, this is another question that I have. All right, so you know how we always talk about in the black community and we say, well, can you be pro-black? We always ask that question. Can you be pro-black if you're dating a white girl, you're dating this girl, you're dating all of that or whatever? You know how we always ask that question? All right, well, I got another question. Can you be pro anything if you are with a scissor kicker? If you are not keeping money into the community or having children with somebody, a man, if you're a woman, you're not having children with a man. If you're a man and not having children with a woman, can you be pro still? Pro anything, pro-black. All right, I'll do you one better. Let's say, for example, you say, yeah, Anton, you can be that. You can absolutely be that. All right, well, here's the second part of that question. Can you be pro-black as a woman if you are in a relationship with a white woman? Because we always put it on the men and we always put it on the women. And we say, well, if you married out or if you're divested, can you really be pro-black? And there's some people that's going to be on one side and there's some people that's going to be on the other side. And they say, okay, well, can you still be pro-black? And do you still align with somebody? What if your political beliefs or your spiritual beliefs don't align with your lifestyle? But then at the same time, you say, but I want to align myself with other black people. What if they lesbians? And what if they're a lesbian that then decides that they want to divest and they don't even want to date black women, but they want to date white women? Are you still pro? So y'all conflicted. Some people saying yes, some people saying no, some people are confused. They don't really understand. Can you be pro anything? Are you still a part of the community if you are a man that transitioned into a woman and that you decide that you still want to date men? Are you still a part of the community? Do you see why it's silly for us to keep going based off of identity politics? Do you see why it's dumb for us to lean in identity politics in order to justify what our positions are? Because everything is fluid now. Everything is fluid. You can be what you want to be. Is she still your sister and your queen to be? If she was really a he biologically, but then transitioned over into a she? Do you still think that it's important for us to align across the fact that you're black or you're white? Do you give them the same level of respect and credence? And I'm just asking a question. I'm just asking the question because so many people like to remove the whole idea that you should be evaluating a person based off of character and not necessarily based off of how it is that they're identifying. But what if you are identifying and the thing that you change is something that you can control? Because you can't control what you look like. You can't control your height. You can't control whether you're black, whether you're white. You can't control your gender. But then what if you decide that you want to identify as something different? Does that align with your ideology? Is she still a queen or is that still a king? I agree, Moses King. I understand that, which is one of the reasons why I'm asking the question. Somebody says sexuality is different from gender identity, Anton. Please know the difference. Oh, no. I know the difference of what you're trying to sell me, Lipstick Forever. I don't agree with it. Sexuality is different from gender identity. Look, I did a video yesterday of a woman that transitioned into a man, but then she used to date women, but now she's married to a man. Is that man gay because he's with a biological woman that transitioned into a man? You see how confused y'all are? You see how confused y'all are? I'm not the one that's crazy. I don't misidentify or misunderstand what y'all are trying to communicate. I don't agree. She says sexuality is different than gender identity. So basically, you can identify as what you want, but you can have sex with whoever it is that you want also. And then they call themselves pansexuals. I'm a pansexual. I just like whatever it is that come my way. How am I crazy? Lipstick Forever. So am I off, or do it sound wild to you that I just describe what people are saying? Oh man, no. How I want to be seen by the world is much different than who it is that I want to sleep with. I need to get my life together. What's wrong with my life? What did I do that was so off? How do I need to get my life together? If it didn't come from Carrie, I don't believe it. Carrie didn't tell me that I needed to get my life together, so I don't believe that I need to get my life together. Carrie was having a conversation with me the other day. She says, Anton, what are you doing about this and this and this? I said, Carrie, this is the way I see it. I didn't hear her say I needed to get my life together, so I'm not listening. Anybody that's not Carrie can't tell me nothing about my life. Carrie didn't tell me I needed to get my life together, so I don't believe you, Michael. I don't believe you, Michael. She didn't tell me that. Maul says those are two fundamentally different things, and they both crazy. Anton, do you have black privilege in America? Absolutely, I do. Absolutely. Let me tell you something, and this is an unpopular conversation, but I'm gonna move over into the next thing. I'm gonna look at the thing that you sent me, Fa Brown. Absolutely. Let me tell you something, bro. There is nothing more privileged than being a black man in America. It is the greatest, bro. God loved me and he blessed me so much that he said, I am going to make you born in 1982. The prime of your life is going to be in the 2020s. And you're going to be a black man in America. And then he molded me and he said, all right, let me make sure that I give him a little bit of extra girth. And then I'm going to set him right here in the United States of America. Bruh, we hit the lottery already. We hit the lottery already. You're not hearing me. If you're a black man in America, you won. You won in life. Now, all you got to do is not mess it up. You know how women say a lot of times that they already know who they want to sleep with? All you got to do is not mess it up. You won in life. If you are a black man in America in 2020, you won, bruh. You won. You won. There's nothing else that you can ask for. You are the greatest specimen on the face of the earth. You're faster, you're stronger, you're smarter. You ain't got to worry about no white person calling you out of their name unless you want them to get canceled. They can get canceled. They're going to get doxxed. You can talk about them, but they can't talk about you. You can do things and be hypocritical, and can't nobody be hypocritical back to you. You can say all the wildest things in the world, and then people going to say, oh, it's okay just because you're black. And all of the women is going to want to experience you just by default. Just by default. There is no greater privilege. Look, we got all of the pluses, none of the minuses. The only thing that's holding us back is our own mentality. We have all of the pluses, none of the minuses. We can go and take they girl, and it's nothing they can do about it, because how you going to compete? What you going to do? Do you know what is more infuriating to a racist white person? Is a successful black man that they can't do anything about. Do you know how infuriating that is to a person? Now, for the regular white people, they chilling, they rock with you, they want to do business with you, they want to get to the bag. Do you know how infuriating it is to stand next to a person that can't do anything about it? Let's see. You had all of the privileges in life. You let your women continue to push all into feminism. They broke up your household. Your wife probably wants me. Your daughter is admiring me. She wants to follow me. Your son is following my YouTube channel. I'm richer than you, and I got more girth. What else is there to want in life? I have everything, and I'm here in the United States of America where I can get away with anything. Bruh, I can literally get away with anything. All I got to do is not commit crime. All I got to do is not commit crime. What is there more to be desired? My chick don't look at you and say, you know what? I want to experience the white chocolate train. They don't do that. They don't do that. They said, I want to go Darth Anton. Put it on my head. And I'm rich. Excuse me, sir, can you turn your music down? No, I can't. And I roll up my windows. I don't argue with white people. If I see a white person that's bothered, I just be laughing like, because you can't even pull the I'm richer than you card. You can't do none of that. You can't do anything. I'm more influential. We helped swing the election in Michigan. What can you do? Bruh, your only goal in life at this point is to get rich. Your only goal in life is to get rich at this point. That's the only thing that you're missing. You missing the money. I tell guys all the time, bro, you don't need no therapy. You need some more money. You broke in because you broke. You're broken because you're broke. That's what's wrong with you. You need more money. You get more money, you're Superman out here in these streets. There's nothing that you can't do. There's nothing that you can't do. You have the world at their knees, and they're happy to be there. White men can't even talk to women the same way that we talk to women. We say stuff, they be like, okay, I understand. They say stuff, it's a lawsuit. It's a lawsuit. Y'all not realizing what's happening out here. You've been blessed, and you sitting here still playing like you victim. You acting victim, and you don't even understand that you are the greatest specimen on the face of this earth, and now you got the freedom to do what you want to do when you want to do it. What more do you want? God gave you everything that he could possibly give you, and you still complaining about it. It's the white man. Bruh, if you don't go get some money so that you could be a rock star, you're one bag away from being a rock star. You're Dusty, money, rock star. Dusty, get some money. Dusty plus money changes him into a rock star. You're not ugly, you just poor. You not ugly, you just poor. You just broke. That's it. You just stink. You just ain't took a shower in the last couple of days. You ain't ugly, you just poor. You want to know the difference between ugly and cute? $1 million. You're just poor. You walk poor. You walk like a poor person. You scoot. We stroll. You scoot, we stroll. You so timid, you so scared of offending people. I just be saying shit. I'll be out vlogging. Y'all, what's going on? I talk loud. Excuse me, Sharky. Y'all, what's going on? It's Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. Thank you for subscribing. We're 17,000 Patreon members strong. We're crossing over 600,000 subscribers on my one channel. You say that out loud, ain't nobody gonna have nothing to say to you. Oh man, let me look him up. What's his name? Anton from AntonDaniels.com. What's going on? Is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. Just picked up the new Navigator. It is the 11th car of the fleet, and I plan on documenting it for you guys just so we can continue on with this motion. What is it that you guys want me to buy next? What they gonna say to you when you saying that out loud? Everybody gonna be like, damn, this nigga got 11 cars with it. Yo, what's going on? Is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. Just put on the rose gold Rolex today. Our net worth is exploding, and I thank you guys for continuing to hold us down. Guess what? We're right here in the thick of things. We got the crowd around us. Everybody change their perspective. Everybody change their perspective. Everybody change their perspective. Ain't nobody, what you gonna say to me? What you gonna say? What you gonna do? Hey, can I subscribe to your channel? What's your name again? You just broke. You ain't got no confidence. You ain't got no confidence. You so scary. You scared about what people gonna think about you. You keep, they not like us. They not like us. They not like us. Man, don't nobody want to hear that shit. Don't nobody want to hear that. You do what you do. They do what they do around you. You adjust to me. I keep telling people all the time. Anytime somebody try to check me, I said, dog, don't you understand that this is a different type of game right now? And this is the honest to God truth. I told a girl the other day. She said, Anton, I don't understand because you're too arrogant. I said, what? You got a lot of pride. I said, what? Say that again? She said, you got a lot. I said, say it one more time. And she shut up. I said, you don't even realize that I'm the main character. All of this is around here is for me. This street is for me. That police car over there that's watching to make sure that I'm okay is for me. The minute that I let you go or leave you out here in these streets, you cease to exist. You back regular. You regular. You just Keisha now. You not K-Dot, you Keisha. I'm the main character here. What are we talking about? I said either get on board or get off the train. She said, you're right. I said, I know. I said, I love that for you too. Get on in there and take them clothes. No, I'm just playing. You just broke. That's why you don't got no confidence. That's why you so scary. That's why you keep sending women DMs. Hey, love, seen you on the stream today. What do you think about it? Oh, man, I wish I could just love on you in person. I don't be saying no shit like, girl, come over here. Give me your arm. Come on, come take a picture with me. I ain't doing none of that. I don't want to talk. I don't want to kick it. Y'all keep saying, Anton, how do you say some of the most egregious things that you say, but then the women still be like, yeah, we going. Because I don't give a fuck. That's the difference. Let me see. Yes, Alex and the lives of the Dale. This is the part where I show off. We on tour. All right, let me see. This is the one that you sent me, saying that this is the one? All right, let me see if I can find it. All right, let me find this. Let me see if I can play it. Give me a second. I got you, Fi. You know what's wrong with you, Alan Vazendale? You know what's wrong with you, Olives Lives in Dale? You just poor. That's all it is. You just poor, bro. It's all poverty. It's a poverty mindset that you have. Confidence brings confidence. But a lot of times the fact that guys is living in the victim Olympics is the reason why they don't have no confidence. Confidence brings confidence. All right. Let me see if I can share my screen. Y'all saying that I need to show this. All right, let's see what we got here. This is it's a white man giving black women HIV.
But I don't take females out on dates. Like, that's just something I don't do. Like, I gotta really like you for me to take you out on a date. You feel me? But I do got a reason why I don't take females out on a date. So there was this one girl. She was like bad as fuck, fine, like body, face, mean, everything. So I had DM'd her. Boom, I kept DMing her, kept commenting on her story and everything. And she finally replied to me. So she finally replied to me, like, we busting it up in the DM and everything. I'm talking to her. I'm like, yeah, I gotta take you out. Let's go out. She's like, all right, cool. How we could do that? Next day she texts me and she like, oh, pay for my hair. I'm like, how much your hair? She said $275. I'm like, all right, cool.
Is this about white men that's giving women HIV, or is this about simping? Because I'm not sure what I'm looking at right now, Fi Brown. What did you send me, big dog? Is this about white men that is giving women HIV, or is this about simps? Because I'm not liking the direction that this is going. What you mean you DM'd her and then you took her out and then you gave her $275 for her hair? What we do that at? Is that the new move? Is that the wave? Is that the wave? Is that how y'all out here? Slimmy, what the fuck is happening, bro? Slimmy, what we got going on out here in these streets? I know you don't agree with this behavior. I know you don't agree with this behavior, Slimmy. Is this what we doing? What am I looking at right here? Where is he going with this story? I guess it's only one way to find out, y'all. It's only one way to find out. And he admitting this on camera, too.
75. I'm like, all right, cool. Now let's keep in mind, that's 275, I'm down. So when I'm saying I'm down, y'all gonna understand why. I'm down 275. Cool. She go get her hair done. She get there, I guess she got late. So now she texting me like, oh, it's a late fee. The late fee $50. Can you pay it? I'm like, all right, cool. Fuck it. I sent her the $50. So now I think I'm down like what that's like $325, $300. So I sent her the $50, and then after I sent her the $50, boom, the night come, we supposed to be going out on a date. Now, mind you, we had to be there, I think we had to be to the place at like 8:30, right? I get down there, we in Center City, the place in Center City, so I get down there, I can't find her. I'm like, where's she? I'm calling her, I'm not getting no answer or nothing. So now, I'm like, I ain't mad, but I'm like, damn, I was expecting this, like, all right, cool, it's whatever, I'm about to dip back home. As I'm driving back home, she called me like, oh, you where you at? That's why I'm be like, niggas take me out. I live right across the street from the place. This is that I'm here now. So I'm like, all right, cool. Like,
I don't know where you're going with this.
Start popping. I'm like, calm down. I'm gonna come back. Boom. I go back. Right. I go in there. She already got a tab open.
Nah, your car. Don't do that to me, big dog. Don't do that to me, your car. I don't accept that. I don't accept that. Okay, before we get into this story, because he's going somewhere with this, and I guess it's a punchline to this, and I do want to see the punchline. Let me ask all of the fellas in the chat. There's thousands of y'all in here, and I want to ask the fellas in the chat. How many of y'all have paid for a woman to get her upkeep and her maintenance before you actually took her out on a date? How many of y'all have sent women money, whether it be to get their kids a babysitter, to get their hair done, to get their nails done, all of this stuff? Your car, I can't believe you. Come on, man. Don't lie. How many of y'all be sending women money on the low before you ever even interact with her? I just got to know. A lot of y'all saying never. I don't believe it. Come on out. Come to the front of the congregation. Somebody in here did it. Somebody in here did it. They ain't asking for no reason. They doing it because they've been getting this money out of y'all. How many of y'all been actually asking for money or asking for this stuff in these relationships? I did it for. All right. So, all right. For those of y'all that's just new here, I'll let the people determine what the show is going to be today. So this is a video that was sent to me from my dog, Fa Brown. He said, Anton, you got to review this video and it's going somewhere, but I need you to watch it to the end. All right. So let's go ahead and watch it to the first. Right now I'm disgusted, but we going to get there, y'all. We going to get there. The Wednesday show is the people show. They determining what's happening during the show.
Been on shots, so I'm like, all right, cool, like whatever, boom. I get a couple shots, she get a couple more shots. So like not like 5 or 10 minutes into us getting shots and shit, it was like three bulls, like 4 girls, like 2 of the bulls, she knew them. So she called them over there, and they was cool. They wasn't on no.
I am brown girl. I got you. I'm cooking.
All type. Shook my hand, said, "What's up, bro?" All that. It was respectful on both sides. So she's like, "Oh yeah, get some shots with us. So now in my mind, I'm like, "Oh, like who about to be paying for this? Cause like you got me paying shots with other dudes. Like what? Well, we not on that." So I end up somehow like they sat there, they took a couple shots, boom. We get a couple more shots. After that's over, the bill like 180 off shots. I paid it. I'm like, all right, cool.
This dude is so weak. It's so weak.
So
you
now
pay for other people's
we get
bills?
the bowling. Now, me, I know how I bowl.
You?
I'm real competitive. Like, I know how I bowl. So like, I'm not going on a date. I'm still not going. Go easy on you. So we bowling, boom, like score like 161 or like I think like 60 something, 50 something. She mad. I don't want to bowl no more. It's making my nails hurt. This, that, da, da, da. I'm like, all right, cool. Whatever, boom. Like we sit there for like 10 more minutes, and we just both on our phones. So I'm like, all right, well, let's go do something else. She's like, all right, I want to go out. I'm like, all right, cool. It's this place called Cleopatra down South Street. We go down Cleopatra. Now, mind you, it's bring your own bottle. So I had bottles at the crib. So I Ubered 2 bottles too.
No. Listen, I'm never going to any place where you got to bring your own bottle. Anything that's BYOB, count me out, big dog.
Me. It was dark Casamigos. I ordered the 2 bottles to me, to the club. Boom, we get in. It's $40 to get in. I paid the $40 for both of us, so that's $80. I'm down like probably 6 times already. Like, so we get in there or whatever. She like, oh, I don't like Casamigos. I don't want Casamigos. I want Don Julio. Now, mind you, the place that we went to, my brother was there because it was his birthday. He was there with his girl. So they got the Don Julio or whatever. So now my brother, they got 2 Don Julio bottles. I got 2 Casamigo bottles. She don't want to drink the Casamigos. She want the Don. So my bro, like, he like, all right, I like give her some shots. So they give her like, I think like 4 shots out of the Don Julio bottle. Boom. She drink the shot. I want more. Like, she literally like,
where we going with this, Fa? Where we going with this, bro?
That ain't gonna get me lit. I'm like, all right, cool. Like, okay. So now I know it's a bring your own bottle, but I know they got bottles in the back. So I tell the boy that own, I'm like, yo, bro, like, I need a bottle. Like, what you got? He like, I got Don, but it's gonna cost you $250. I'm like, $250? I'm like, damn, all right, bet.
Dude, going broke.
$250 for the bottle. When I tell you, like, bro, 15 minutes in for me getting a bottle, bro, she drunk the whole bottle and still wanted more. Now she a little, like, lit. She a little tore out of her mind a little bit, right? So he's sitting there drinking. So now I'm like, she told me, I want hookah. So I ain't even gonna lie. Now I'm on the type tip like, yo, it's like 1 now. I'm like, when we about to go to the crib? Like, this, that. You feel me? So I run to the bathroom real quick to check my pockets, because I'm like, I gotta make sure I got enough bread on me. She has all this stuff. Cool. I go to the bathroom. Now, mind you, I am a little on to myself, but like.
Yo. All right, we got a little delay. All right, we got a little delay. We gonna get back to it. I'm sorry about that. Got a little bit of delay. Let me fast forward it to get to the part where we was at. I'm sorry.
I'm making sure, I'm aware of everything. Something tell me, like, go back out there. Like, count your money and go back out there. Hurry up. I go back out there. She nowhere to be found. She gone. So I go to my brother. I'm like, yo, like, where she go? Where little girlie go? He like, she walked outside, walked that way. I don't know where she at. I'm like, all right, cool. So now I walk out of the little lounge club joint, Cleopatra. I'm like, yo, like, we on South Street boundary. She like 3 blocks down. So like, I'm screaming, there's nobody out there. I'm like, yo, where you going? She come all the way back. She like, oh, I'm just not feeling it. Your folks being weird. Like, I'm just ain't feeling it. I'm gonna go home. I'm like, home? You about to go home, and I just damn near spent almost a stack on you in one night. And you not about to, like, you feel me? Like, you ain't gonna give me nothing. I'm like, damn, no. I'm like, no, we gonna go to my crib. You ain't gotta go home. No, I'm just not feeling it. Like, this is not my vibe. Like, I'm better than this. And, like, I'm gonna just go home. I'm not feeling it. Bro, like, moral of the story, that's why I don't take females out, because of stuff like that. And I ain't even saying, like, I'm on, like, it just depends. If me and her was on that was the plan. You feel me? And she did that. So I'm like, oh, yeah, no, like, never again.
Is that the end of the story? Was that the end of the story? Y'all finesse me. I'm about to cancel everybody picking it up. I'm canceling this. I'm canceling. I'm no longer going to allow for you guys to be able to pick what stories we talk about. I don't know if I'm willing to let y'all pick a story anymore. See? You see what happened? Let's see what happened, Fa? All right, Fa had his turn. We gonna have to go with somebody else's on the next turn. Fa, I can't believe that you just gave me that story. I can't believe it, Fa. I can't believe you gave me that story, bro. Fa has now been put on the PIP for stories that Anton is going to talk about on the Millionaire Morning Show. Fa is on the PIP, y'all. You want to pick next week, Messi? Y'all gonna have to give me a better story next time. I thought we was talking about a white man giving black women HIV. Brittany, I want my 5 minutes back too. Oh, Fa is on a PIP, y'all. Fa is on a performance improvement plan. All right. Fa's on a performance improvement plan, y'all. All right. But it was a fun time. I think I lost some of my super chats when my connection messed up. What up, AD? Tasha K posted your clip about single men dating single moms, and the women in the comments were furious. Shout out to Tasha K. Anyways, I think it was a fun show. It was a little bit different. I'm trying some things. No Wednesday live stream. I've been streaming 3 times all day. If y'all not a part of the Patreon, make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. Tiege Hanley, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. I'm cooking. I'm working. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Hey, y'all get on Fa and get on his ass. No pause. No Diddy. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm going to see y'all tomorrow morning. Peace.